When he was just a boy, he was abandoned during a massive earthquake. Back then, Lan Fam really thought he was going to die. That was until a master appeared, saved him, and took him in to raise as his own. This master became his mentor, and 16 years have passed since that day. Yet, Lan Fam still cannot let go of the trauma, still haunted by nightmares of that day, even though he has promised his master time and again that he would move on. To find peace and cultivate his spirit, his master realized that instead of stubbornly trying to forget, he needed to face it. So the master finally told him to descend the mountain. To return to the world and resolve the inner demons, he set off with a letter and a train ticket. Lan Fam boarded the train to find his seat. But he found a young woman in revealing clothes lounging comfortably right in his spot. He glanced from his ticket to the girl, but he didn't know how to start the conversation. Finally, the woman lost her temper and shouted, "Hey, have you stared enough? What is your problem?" Lan Fam held his train ticket up in front of her and told her that she was sitting in his seat. She checked her own ticket, realized she was indeed in the wrong place, and hurriedly gave it back, leaving an incredibly awkward silence between them. A long time later, she spoke up to break the ice. "Hi, I'm Chow Jae-ki. Sorry about just now. We'll be stuck here together for over 10 hours. It's a bit awkward if we stay like this, don't you think?" Lan Fam simply replied, "Oh." His attitude was a huge blow to her pride, considering she was a beauty everyone usually loved. Why was he as cold as a walking iceberg? Just as Chow Jae-kai was thinking this, Lan Fam suddenly leaned in and lifted her bangs. Her face turned bright red, fearing he was about to do something inappropriate. Unexpectedly, Lan Fam said with a dead serious face that her aura was dark, meaning she was about to face bad luck. "Ugh, stop cursing me, I'm not going to be unlucky." "You're the unlucky one," he replied. Chow Jae-kai began to kick and flail, completely unaware that while she was making a scene, a thug nearby had been watching them. The guy saw how smooth and fair Chow Jae-kai's legs were, and immediately started plotting something sinister for that very night. While she was fast asleep, he ambushed her, first covering her mouth and then tearing at her clothes. "Be a good girl, and once I'm done, I'll give you 50,000. "Oh, lace underwear underneath? I love this style, haha!" Chow Jae-ki tried to scream but couldn't make a sound. It seemed this guy was a repeat offender. I was very experienced, and no matter how hard she struggled, she was no match for the scumbag's strength. Lan Fam was lying there facing the wall. Chow Jae-ki desperately prayed in her heart for him to turn around just once, and at that exact moment, Lan Fam spoke up. "I told you that you were going to have bad luck. Do you believe me now?" Chow Jae-ki's eyes widened as she saw Lan Fam jump off the bed. He flew toward the scumbag like a gust of wind, but he couldn't hit the guy because the thug's bodyguard blocked him. "Hey, buddy. My young master is just an ordinary person and you're using a level 6 ability to attack him? Isn't that a bit too much?" The bodyguard provoked him, feeling confident since his backup was there. The scumbag became even more brazen. He had already undone his pants, ready to finish what he started. The bodyguard was filled with killing intent, wanting to take the life of an innocent like Lan Fam just for interfering with his young master's fun. Unfortunately for them, with the martial arts his master had spent 16 years teaching him. This bodyguard was nothing more than an ant. Lan Fam fluidly dodged the bodyguard's attack and countered with a single blow that took him down. Then he grabbed the guy by the head. He turned his fierce, icy gaze toward the young master. "Your bodyguard is too weak. Now you have two choices. Either take one of my punches or take 10 of them." He said that. But Lan Fam didn't really care about letting them choose. With scum like this, he just punched them as much as he could. The first punch went to the bodyguard. The rest were reserved for the pervert who had harassed Chow Jae-ki. He was so terrified he bit his own tongue and begged for mercy. "Don't come any closer. At worst, I'll let you have this girl. I'll give you money too, just stay back. I'm from the Lee family. I'm with the Lee Corporation. You can't touch me!" Right after that line, there was a series of 9 loud thuds. Lan Fam remembered his master's teaching. Besides those you truly can't beat, there is no one you can't touch. He beat him so badly that Chow Jae-ki had to intervene, fearing he would kill the guy. "Then what are you waiting for? Call someone! Tell the train staff there's a thug here. Tell the train staff there's a thug in here. My master already told me. Once you catch a villain, you must report the danger immediately, or else you'll get framed." As he said that, Lan Fam gave the scumbag another kick, leaving Jae-ki speechless. He was really ruthless. But his master's way of thinking was truly thorough. After she made the call, the security staff quickly rushed in and hauled the scum away. With only the two of them left in the cabin, Lan Fam lay down on his bed. relaxed. The dark mark on her forehead had already begun to fade. "You can rest easy and go to sleep now." "I'm going to sleep too," Chow Jiai-kai shyly said thank you, but there was still one thing she wanted to ask of Lan Pham, to help her hold up a blanket to cover the cabin door so she could change, since the clothes the creep had touched. She really didn't want to wear them anymore, and besides, they were already torn to shreds. Although Lan Pham thought girls were really troublesome, being a polite person, he still helped her out. However, after taking off all her clothes, Chow Jiai-ki realized she didn't seem to have brought any spare clothes. Since she usually took planes and only traveled for a few hours, she rarely took trains and hadn't accounted for this possibility. Chow Jiai-kai stood behind the blanket, explaining the situation to Lan Pham while nervously clutching the fabric. Then, she suddenly slipped. Instinctively, she pulled hard on the blanket, and Lan Pham, holding the other side, was pulled over too. Luckily, he caught himself with his hands. Otherwise, he would have landed right on top of Chow Jiai-ki. The young lady was scared red-faced by the scene, but Lan Pham remained stone-faced, speaking in the tone of a perfect gentleman. "I can lend you mine, but I only have 2 sets of clothes. You must return them to me," he added. Chow Jiai-ki nodded, eager to escape the awkward situation. However, Lan Pham's remaining outfit was typical Immortal cultivator garb. Seeing a modern mortal girl wearing it now looked incredibly bizarre. After getting off the train, Chow Jiai-ki just wanted to leave quickly so no one would see her strange appearance. Luckily, after they left the station, the Chow family's private car had already arrived. Chow Jiai-kai's driver saw his young mistress dressed like this. He almost didn't recognize her. The car sped back to the Chow family villa. Lan Pham naturally followed to get his clothes back. While Chow Jiai-ki went to change, her grandfather personally greeted Lan Pham. He seemed very curious about what had happened between his granddaughter and this young man that made her have to wear his clothes. Lan Pham was about to explain, but just as he opened his mouth, Chow Jiai-kai came out. "Here, give these back to you. Why don't you stay for dinner, too? It was thanks to your help on this trip." Lan Pham didn't refuse, and that day he stayed to sweep through the entire table of delicacies at the Chow house as if he had been starved for a long time. Chow Jiai-kai's grandfather watched the two of them, so young and full of youthful spirit, and remembered his own youth. It was a pity that he was old now, and both his legs were crippled. Hearing the grandfather say that, Lan Pham glanced over. He immediately realized that old man Chow had been injured by an explosive, and the injury had been there for 25 years. However, the next thing Lan Pham said left both grandfather and granddaughter stunned. "Actually, treating it isn't very complicated. It will only take me 2 minutes." Chow Jiai-kai was surprised. "How do you know my grandfather's leg injury was caused by an explosive?" "And indeed, this happened 25 years ago. We have searched for countless famous doctors everywhere, and none of them had a way. What are you going to do in just 2 minutes?" Her skepticism was only natural. After all, it sounded absurd. But Lan Pham remained extremely confident. He even asserted that he didn't need any incantations. "You don't need to perform any rituals either. Just have old man Chow sit still and don't move." Lan Pham and Chow Jiai-kai shared a karmic bond. There was a cause and an effect. Their meeting on the train must have been meant to lead him here to heal her grandfather. So, after eating, Lan Pham walked up to old man Chow. The old man certainly didn't believe he could cure his legs, but he agreed to let him try because he wanted his granddaughter to understand. That one shouldn't casually make friends with a wandering con artist. But after Lan Pham made his move, old man Chow's legs actually regained feeling for the first time in 25 years. This was the first time he had felt sensation in the lower half of his body. Chow Jiai-ki seemed extremely agitated, while Lan Pham, conversely, kept his calm expression from beginning to end. "You can try to lift your leg, then diligently recover for half a year and you'll be fine." Old man Chow's look toward Lan Pham changed instantly. From looking at him like a wandering scammer, he now saw a young master with extraordinary abilities, not an ordinary person. And building a relationship with someone like him would certainly only bring benefits, no harm. If he could let him associate with Chow Jiai-ki, it would be even better. So, the grandfather quickly spoke up. "Little master, whose lineage do you come from? You are even more miraculous than the legendary healers. If you have any requests, just say it. The Chow family can certainly fulfill them." Who would have thought that Lan Pham didn't even need to think, immediately replying that he didn't need anything. He had things to do and needed to leave right away. If it weren't for needing that set of clothes back, he wouldn't have come here at all. Old man Chow still wanted to hold him back, asking Lan Fam to stay a few more days, saying that if he had any trouble, the Chow family could step in to help, but Lan Fam still didn't turn back. No need. People's karma must be solved by themselves. Watching the back of the figure leaving without hesitation, Chow Jai-Kai's grandfather felt deeply regretful, thinking that if he had known sooner that Lan Fam had such talent, he should have shown a better attitude earlier. Jai-Kai, do you know the background of this little master? Even Cho Jai-Kai couldn't do much about this. She just wanted to experience a ride on a budget train, and by pure chance, she ran into him. She didn't even get the chance to ask for his phone number. By now, Lun Fam had already left the Cho family estate and was on his way to find a family named Ta. His master had instructed him to deliver a handwritten letter to them, saying they would take him in. Following the map his master had drawn, Lun Fam found his way to a high-end apartment complex. Just as he was busy looking around, a luxury car zoomed past, splashing stagnant water everywhere and nearly drenching Lun Fam completely. Luckily, his martial arts skills were solid. With a single stomp of his foot, he forced the water to split to both sides. Not a single drop landed on him. Then, a young woman stepped out, fuming. She walked away, grumbling, "My dad is unbelievable. Always in meetings. Are those meetings more important than his own daughter? Next time, he can just send the driver to those parent-teacher meetings. If he's so smart, he should just never come back." This young lady was Miss Ta, the pampered daughter of Ta Hai. After a few steps, she noticed Lun Fam staring at her intently. She stopped and asked irritably, "Who are you? Haven't you ever seen a beautiful woman before? If you keep staring, I'm going to charge you a fee. You drivers have no eyes, nearly ruining my clothes. Fate has entwined us here, so to settle this karma, I have a question for you about someone," Lan Fam replied, sounding like an old-fashioned immortal cultivator. And the person he wanted to ask about was a man named Ta Hai. Miss Ta was a bit surprised to see a young man who looked like he came from the countryside asking for her father. She guessed he might be her father's secret illegitimate son, but looking closer, she saw Lan Fam was older than her. Then, she started worrying that she might be the secret child, and Miss Ta's mood immediately exploded. No, she could not accept that illegitimate daughter storyline. So, she definitely couldn't let Lun Fam meet her father. Miss Ta turned away, saying she didn't know him, but then someone else spoke up. "They say you don't fear a godlike enemy, only a teammate as dumb as an ox." Right after Miss Ta denied knowing him, her driver shouted, "Ta Hai? How dare you call the CEO by his first name? Miss, he just called your father by his name. I have to call CEO Ta immediately." Miss Ta was speechless, feeling incredibly embarrassed, while Lan Fam just made an O sound. It turned out he had perfectly picked the daughter of Ta Hai to ask for information. Seeing his reaction, Miss Ta quickly raised her voice to get the upper hand. "Humph! Don't you dream of stepping foot in my house. I will absolutely not acknowledge an illegitimate son like you. And I won't call you Big Brother either." It turned out she denied being Ta Hai's daughter just because she feared that outcome. Lan Fam didn't have any overly dramatic reaction. He just placed the letter his master had given him on her head and said, "Whether you give this letter to your father or not is up to you. My master told me to come. It's not like I wanted to come here and suck up to you people." After saying that, Lan Fam immediately walked away. Miss Ta held the letter in her hand, feeling a bit guilty. Lan Fam had said his master told him to come, which meant he probably wasn't her father's illegitimate son, right? And yet she had lashed out with such bitter words, hurting his pride and driving him away. Even though the Ta family wouldn't take him in, Lan Fam didn't look sad at all. He started thinking about getting a job, but the problem was, where should he find work? Wandering around for half a day, he stopped in front of a very luxurious hotel called the Brandom, thinking about asking for a job washing dishes inside. However, it seemed Lun Fam was having a bad run with cars today. First, he was almost splashed by the Ta family's car, and now he was getting a face full of exhaust from another supercar speeding by. The car stopped not far away, and a gorgeous woman stepped out. She was the big movie star, Li Yan. As soon as Li Yan appeared, the crowd went wildly out of control. Curious, Lan Fam moved a bit closer, and then he was shocked to discover that the female star was actually his own sister, the one his parents had risked their lives to save during the earthquake years ago. Lan Fam never thought he would meet his family again so soon. He just didn't know if his sister still remembered him. Thinking that, Lan Fam ignored the security guards and pushed through the barrier to get closer to Li Yin, but she didn't seem to recognize this long-lost brother at all. "I don't know you, please have some self-respect," Li Yin said as she backed away, but Lan Fam took another step forward. "Take a good look. Do you really not recognize me?" At this point, the security team stepped in, rushing over to pin Lan Fam down. He lay flat on the ground, watching the elegant silhouette of his sister, and could only sigh silently. It seemed she really didn't remember him anymore. Suddenly, Lan Fam's strength erupted, sending the guards flying. As they scrambled to get back up, preparing to rush him again, thinking he was still trying to harass the female star, who would have expected him to just slowly walk away. Meanwhile, as soon as Li Yin arrived at the event, she ran into big trouble. She was being groped by a young Master Tran. This guy was a real-deal playboy who loved messing around with female celebrities. Hai had his eyes on Li Yin this time, which was why he invited her. Even though Li Yin resisted with all her might, she was no match for a man's strength, and her security team didn't dare to offend. The great young Master Tran, who held supreme power in this city. If they provoked him, they wouldn't be able to work in this industry anymore. So the bodyguards just looked away, ignoring Li Yin as she screamed and struggled while the dirty hands of that Tran guy touched her. As for Lan Fam, who had already decided to leave, he ultimately couldn't bear to watch his sister being bullied like that. In the end, he smashed through the second-floor window and dove in, shouting, "You scum!" before kicking young Master Tran, rolling around on the floor. Li Yin was absolutely stunned to see him return and even step in to help her. But Lan Fam had no intention of lingering. However, that guy surnamed Tron had no plans to let him walk away safely. Since Lan Fam had hit him earlier, he threatened that if he dared to leave, he would immediately beat Li Yin to death. Even though they hadn't met for 16 years, Li Yin was still his sister. How could Lan Fam just stand by and watch a scumbag bully his sister? So, he turned back, ready to use his boot to teach that bastard a lesson he'd never forget. Just then, his bodyguards drew their guns, bragging about being top-tier Special Forces soldiers. Lan Fam didn't even bother looking at them. He grabbed both barrels with his hands and bent them straight up toward the sky. Master Tran still couldn't escape the fate of being trampled under his foot. Seeing this, the bodyguards realized Lan Fam was actually an ability user, so none of them dared to step forward. "Please stop, I beg you, don't stomp anymore!" Master Tran, his face already beaten to a pulp, started mumbling. "I'll give you one piece of advice. Never have bad intentions toward her again." Before Lan Fam could even finish his sentence, Master Tran was nodding like a madman, swearing he would never dare to cross the line again, and would never harbor ill will toward Li Yin ever again. He barely escaped with his life this time. The Tran family bodyguards rushed over to rescue their young master, while Lan Fam figured he had finished his duty of protecting his sister. As he was about to leave, Li Yin held him back. She wanted to thank him for what he had just done. She also apologized, admitting she truly hadn't recognized him, and even went so far as to think Lan Fam was just a friend from elementary school, a feeling that didn't sit well with him. He bit his lip hard, and a moment later, forced a stiff smile. "No need to thank me. I just mistook you for someone else back there." Li Yin kept watching Lan Fam as he walked away. Even though he said it was a mistake, as a professional actress, she felt that the way he looked at her in the hotel lobby earlier, and even now, didn't seem like a case of mistaken identity. On the contrary, she could sense a hint of sorrow. Meanwhile, at the Ta residence, Ta Hai's daughter finally showed him that letter. After realizing this was indeed the handwriting of a legendary immortal, Ta Hai was extremely anxious and asked his daughter where the young master who brought the letter was. "How would I know? He just threw the letter and left. If I wasn't kind-hearted, I would have just tossed this letter in the trash." Ta Hai couldn't bear to scold his daughter too harshly, but he had to let her know that the person who wrote this letter was an ancient immortal whom everyone wanted to serve. By chasing his disciple away, she had basically invited disaster. Who knows, maybe one day the entire Ta family will be held accountable for it. Just then, Ta Hai's phone rang. It was Mr. Chow calling. After Lan Fam healed his legs, Mr. Chow had heard news of him looking for the Ta family. So he called to try and get in touch with Lan Fam. Ta Hai was even more shocked to hear that it only took him 2 minutes to heal Mr. Chow's legs, which had been crippled for 25 years. After hanging up, he immediately took his anger out on his daughter. "You better hurry up and find that young immortal and bring him here for me. It only took him 2 minutes to help Mr. Chow, who had been crippled for 25 years, walk again." Right now, even old Master Tu, who could make the entire city of Dongthan tremble with a single stomp, is looking for him too. If you can't find him, don't you ever come home? Miss Ta left the house furious. She had been spoiled rotten since she was a child, so when her father lashed out at her because of some guy who popped out of nowhere, she couldn't hide her rage. Plus, the city was so huge. She had no idea where to start looking. Miss Ta remembered that when he left, Lan Pham was carrying a huge sack, saying he might go look for some manual labor, so she decided to check the construction site. After being informed by Miss Tai, Chow Gi Kai also joined the race to find Lan Pham. Hearing from Miss Ta that he would go to the construction site for work, she headed there too. But she still felt the whole thing was absurd. Someone who could heal her grandfather's legs couldn't possibly be so poor that he had to do manual labor to earn money, right? Yet, she didn't expect Lan Pham to actually be working part-time there. At that moment, he was carrying bricks while sneezing repeatedly. His co-worker thought Lan Pham had caught a cold, but he replied that someone wanted to get entangled in karma with him. Simply put, someone was talking about him, which was why he was sneezing like this. The older co-worker was speechless after hearing that. I don't think you should be carrying bricks, kid. You should go be a fortune teller. Being a fortune teller involves too much karma and makes it easy to mess with fate. Lan Pham responded seriously. Of course, the older man didn't think he was an immortal. He just felt Lan Pham was like those kids who were obsessed with fantasy movies. Since the work for the day was done, the older man said he had a date and told Lan Pham to head back to the dormitory on his own. But he had already noticed a thick aura of bad luck around the man's forehead. It was hard to say if he'd even make it back tonight. The date the man mentioned turned out to be a secret rendezvous. Since he was worried, Lan Pham followed him for a bit. The two of them had actually chosen a location inside a bush. Just as Chow Gi Ki walked by and heard those suggestive sounds, her face turned as red as a ripe tomato. What kind of people are these? How could they do that in a place like this? I shouldn't be looking at this. I need to get out of here fast. Chow Gi Ki squeezed her eyes. But just as she was about to leave, she heard a blood-curdling scream from the construction worker. Honestly, you wouldn't make such a miserable sound while enjoying that kind of thing. Out of curiosity, Chow Gi Kai peeked back, only to find the construction worker lying in a pool of blood, while his lover had already turned into a monster. Honestly, when people are enjoying that kind of thing, they shouldn't be making such blood-curdling screams. Out of curiosity, Chow Gi Kai peeked back, only to see that factory worker slumped in a pool of blood, while his lover had turned into a monster. Chow Gi Kai was so terrified her legs went weak. The monster had already spotted her and charged over aggressively. It hadn't eaten its fill yet and was looking to make a meal out of her. Just as the monster grabbed the hem of her clothes, a group of people dressed as monks suddenly appeared. They seized the monster's arms and began to suppress it, shouting, "Civilians, get out of here and take cover!" The elderly monk and the group yelled at Chow Gi Ki. She was still in shock, but seeing these people with such strange abilities reminded her of Lan Pham. What on earth was going on? Could they all be like him? Are they all humans with supernatural abilities? She muttered to herself. Just then, the monster let out an earth-shattering roar. It seemed its power far exceeded that of the group of monks. They all collapsed one by one, coughing up blood. That was when Chow Gi Ki realized the situation had turned dire. She had to run for her life. But because she had been grabbed earlier, her legs were still jelly, and she couldn't even stand up. Chow Gi Kai could only sit there trembling, watching the monster rush toward her, silently praying for someone to save her. And then, Lan Pham appeared again. Just like on the train, he rescued Chow Gi Kai from the jaws of death in the nick of time. He sent the monster flying 30 feet back. Chow Gi Kai instinctively huddled behind Lan Pham, trembling. He looked at her with a look of pure exasperation and asked, "It's the middle of the night. What are you doing wandering around a construction site? Are you just bored and looking for trouble?" Strangely, even though she was being scolded, Chow Gi Kai didn't feel offended. Seeing Lan Pham standing firmly in front of her, her eyes welled up, and she couldn't hold back her tears anymore. "Wow, why did you take so long to get here? You scared the life out of me!" Chow Gi Kai sobbed as she hugged Lan Pham tightly. At first, he intended to pull away, but he caught a very pleasant scent coming from her. Fine, let her hug me for a bit. After all, it wasn't like he was losing anything. Meanwhile, the monks were approaching the female monster again, but it was no longer a threat. Its head had been completely smashed in. Anyone possessing this kind of ability must be at a terrifying level, like a natural disaster, and its physical toughness must have been comparable to steel. The oldest monk in the group glanced over at Lan Fam, thinking, he looks so young, yet his strength is shocking. He took down the monster with a single punch, the very thing the whole group of monks couldn't even suppress. I even had the wild idea of recruiting the boy under his wing. Thinking it, he did it. He approached Lan Fam and spoke in a friendly tone. Young man, may I ask if you have a master? Are you interested in joining us? We are a professional organization that deals with supernatural threats and monsters. I'm sure you've heard of us. Lan Fam replied coldly, I can't just go around talking about my master's name. Besides, I've never heard of your organization. His answer hit the man like a slap in the face. Being dismissed by someone as young as Lan Fam, the man couldn't help but feel irritated, but he had to hold back because he wanted to win the boy over. With your exceptional strength, have you ever considered working for the government? Join our organization, and you'll immediately receive the highest benefits, which of course will last a lifetime. Not interested for now. Lan Fam's blunt reply left the man speechless. It was the first time he had ever been looked down upon like this, but he didn't dare to strike, fearing that Lan Fam might be even stronger than him. Fine then. If that's the case, we are forced to erase your memories of today's events to prevent any future panic. Acting on his orders, the younger monks immediately rushed forward. However, before they could even touch him, Lan Fam shattered their memory-erasing ability. Han even openly criticized their abilities for being unstable, suggesting they train more seriously. Hey, brat, don't get cocky. Who exactly are you? Are you a spy sent by the enemy? Some of the younger monks, insulted, jumped up in anger. But amid the commotion, another figure appeared. This young man's ability level is only grade 6, which is far below yours, so there is no need to make things difficult for him. Otherwise, you'll be creating a problem where there was none. One should be magnanimous. Do you all agree? The group of monks, led by the man called Director Tran, turned to see a Buddhist monk, who was known as Master Tu Thong, and his words seemed to carry a lot of weight. But Tu Thong claimed Lan Fam only possessed a grade 6 ability, which made Director Tran feel that it didn't align with what he had just witnessed. Meanwhile, Lan Fam couldn't help but ask, Master, you say I'm grade 6. May I ask how abilities are graded? Tu Thong smiled kindly and explained that abilities in this world are divided into 10 grades. Grade 10 is the weakest, and grade 1 is the strongest. However, being grade 1 doesn't mean you are the most powerful, because there are figures even beyond grade 1, and it is very rare to see them appear in this mortal world. Lan Fam let out an "oh." It seemed that in the past, his master had told him he was super grade 1, specifically mentioning that 3 years ago. Yet, according to these people, Lan Fam had somehow become just a grade 1. A giant question mark appeared in his mind. Could it be that in the last 3 years, not only did he not improve, but he had actually regressed? That is what Master Tu Thong had said. Chief Tran doesn't want to make things hard for you anymore. You're so young yet already a rank 6 martial artist. You'll surely become one of our pillars in the future. If you ever need anything, just come find me. I then handed Lan Fam a business card with only a few words written on it. Dragon Organization, Tran Hai. Lan Fam didn't know what the Dragon Organization was or if it was powerful or not, and Chao, Jaikai knew even less about these things. After the group left, she realized she had been clutching Lan Fam's arm tightly the whole time and quickly let go, saying, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed, I'm sorry. I only acted like that because I was so nervous." "It's fine." Lan Fam stuffed this card into his pocket and replied, "But why did you come all the way here in the middle of the night? Are you, a smoker? Did you come here to smoke? I'm from the Ta family. You told me you were working at the construction site. Are you really a manual laborer?" "Yeah, I'm actually hauling bricks. If I don't, I won't have money to eat," Lan Fam replied flatly, which only surprised Chao Jai-Ki even more. Then she suddenly grabbed his hand and urged, "Lan Fam, stop doing manual labor. The Tu family wants to invite you to help heal Elder Tu. If you can really cure him, then in the future, you can go anywhere in Dung City without ever worrying about money." After considering it for a moment, Lan Fam agreed. So the very next day, the Chao family chauffeur drove him and Chao Giai Kai to the Tu family mansion. It was said that Elder Tu had suffered from leg pain for a long time that no one could cure, which is why they specially invited the little Immortal, who had healed Elder Chao to try his luck. However, upon reaching the gate, Lan Fam changed his mind because he didn't want to form too many karmic ties with unrelated people. Chow! Jai Kai hurriedly grabbed Lan Fam's hand, while the father and daughter of the Ta family, Hai inside the house, had already spotted Lan Fam and rushed out. "Little Immortal, I've finally found you." Ta Hai seemed very pleased. Lan Fam glanced at him and asked, "Are you the Ta Hai my master mentioned?" Ta Hai nodded vigorously like he was chopping wood, then urged Lan Fam, "I am Ta Hai, little master. Since you're already here, please heal Elder Tu's leg. After that, whatever requests you have, I can fulfill them." Elder Tu was the most powerful and influential person in the city. Ta Hai wanted to use this opportunity to have Lan Fam heal him so he could latch on to the Tu family. After all, the Ta family was also a place entrusted by Lan Fam's master. Since Ta Hai had already asked, Lan Fam found it hard to refuse. They then entered the villa. Elder Tu didn't have a very good temper compared to Elder Chow. He even laid down the law beforehand, saying he was a short-tempered man. If Lan Fam couldn't cure his leg, he would break Lan Fam's legs in return. "Grandpa Tu, don't say that," Chow Jiaki whispered in his ear, while Lan Fam didn't look scared in the slightest. His legs couldn't even be broken by his master, let alone a mortal like Elder Tu. As for his leg, the injury had persisted for nearly 25 years. During these 25 years, the Tu family must have sought out many famous doctors, but unfortunately the meridians only became more clogged over time. For 25 years, he had endured the pain day and night. Hearing Lan Fam pinpoint it accurately, Elder Tu was extremely shocked. He was certain that no one had ever leaked the details of his condition to the outside world, yet Lan Fam had diagnosed it with just a single glance. "Looks like you're not a quack after all. Don't worry about how I know that. The important thing is that I can cure this illness for you. It will only take 2 minutes." Lan Fam sat down and placed his hand on Elder Tu's knee. After a moment, he drew out the stagnant Kai that had blocked his leg for 25 years. For the first time in 25 years, Elder Tu could move, his leg flexibly without pain. He was stunned. The talent of this young man was truly the real deal. Then, Lan Fam stood up to leave. Elder Tu hurriedly called out to him, his attitude now completely changed. "Little Immortal, wait a moment. Don't you want a reward? No matter what you want, the Tu family will do everything to repay you." "No need," Lan Fam replied without even turning his head. "I don't need anything at all, and I certainly don't wish to form any more karma with you." Lan Fam knew that humanity had both good and bad, but Elder Tu's attitude from the moment they met was truly unacceptable, making Lan Fam want to lose his temper and strike him. He secretly felt guilty toward his master for training under him for 16 years, yet his 6 senses were still not at peace. As for Elder Tu and Ta Hai standing beside him, both were deeply shocked by Lan Fam's response. An immortal is indeed an immortal. To be able to brush off the Tu family's reward, that is truly domineering. When Lan Fam reached the door, Chow Jai Kai anxiously grabbed him. "You dummy! Didn't you say you wanted to find a job? This is a good opportunity." Seizing the moment, Ta Hai chimed in quickly, saying that his company had a position very suitable for him and invited him to stay the night. "By tomorrow, we can have everything arranged for this job." In reality, it wasn't just a reward. It was because Ta Hai saw Lan Fam's immense power and wanted to keep him there at all costs. He planned to place him in the diplomatic department, which was full of beautiful women who would serve him attentively, sure to tempt him and easily bind him. In truth, no matter how good the conditions were, they couldn't sway Lan Fam. But just then, the TV was playing a show featuring Lai Yen, and Lan Fam stopped in his tracks, staring at the screen, momentarily lost in thought. "All right, I'll stay for a while longer," Lan Fam replied, though his heart felt heavy. He thought to himself, "It seems I can't sever my ties with my family, and I certainly have no right to return to the immortal realm anymore." Chow Jai Kai noticed the strange expression on Lan Fam's face and immediately asked, "Do you have a crush on her?" "She's a member of the Li family in Kim Lang. Her talents in singing and acting are exceptional. She's someone you could never hope to reach." Lan Fam asked back, "Just where is this Kim Lang Li family anyway?" Lan Fam asked with a look of extreme agony. "Is it really that hard for them to raise one child? They could probably afford to raise every child in this entire country. What would be difficult about that for them?" Chow Jai Kai didn't know why Lan Fam was suddenly asking such an odd question, but she patiently replied, You will never understand the Lee family. They are wealthy enough to raise every child in this country. 16 years ago, they abandoned their own son in a pile of rubble and ran away. Just thinking about it, Lang Fam's heart tightened with pain. Chow Jai Kai sensed he was remembering something painful and stepped forward to comfort him. After all, Lan Fam had saved her life twice. I don't know what you're going through, but let me help you lift your spirits. Chow Jai Kai moved closer, intending to press her forehead against his, but just then, Lan Fam suddenly looked up. The result was a head-on collision. The impact was so strong that both of them saw stars. Lan Fam clutched his bruised forehead and glared at the person in front of him. What are you doing? Are you trying to assassinate me? I'm clearly the victim here, Chow Jai Kai shouted, secretly calling Lan Fam a huge idiot. She decided not to comfort him anymore, but this scene, seen by Ta Hai, made him 10 times more vigilant. Ta Hai guessed that Chow Jai Kai had feelings for Lan Fam, and he also equated this to the Chow family trying to recruit him to their side. But Ta Hai also wanted an immortal like him to be his son-in-law. He did have a daughter, Ta Duyet after all. However, when he turned around, Ta Hai saw his airheaded daughter happily tapping away on her phone. Ta Hai approached and whispered, telling his daughter to go sit near the little immortal, but Ta Duyet immediately refused, claiming Lan Fam smelled like sweat. He's a little immortal. If you can marry him, you won't have to worry about food or clothing for the rest of your life. You might even become an immortal yourself. What are you waiting for? Go over there. Ta Hai continued to urge her. Dad, I'm still just a high school student. Are you trying to encourage me to get married while I'm still a minor? If you allow it, I still have the numbers of 10 boys chasing me on my phone. After I'm done playing with all 10 of them, then I'll go find your little immortal. Seeing his daughter being so rebellious, Ta Hai felt a tightness in his chest. He wanted to scold Ta Duyet more, but just then, Lan Fam walked over. In the blink of an eye, Ta Hai flipped his attitude faster than a pancake. It turned out Lan Fam wanted to ask about room and board, since Ta Hai was going to arrange a job for him anyway. So he wanted to ask if it included room and board. Of course, Ta Hai answered without thinking. He even decided to take Lan Fam back to his own home, creating opportunities for him to meet Ta Duyet every day. Chow Jai Kai also had the intention of taking Lan Fam back to the Chow family, as the old Master Chow liked him very much. But Lan Fam wanted to rely on himself to make a living. His master had said it before. Staying at a girl's house is easily seen as being a parasite, and he followed his master's words strictly, so he definitely couldn't go back to Chow Jai Kai's house. That evening, Ta Hai brought Lan Fam to his luxury apartment. After the boy showered, he pointed to a room and said that would be his room from now on. After Lan Fam entered the room, Ta Hai wore a crafty smile, then whispered to his wife, Honey, go get some pajamas for our daughter to change into after her bath. Go pick the most revealing one you can find. Ta Hai's wife, Bok Dung, heard this and couldn't hide her irritation. After all, Ta Duyet wasn't even 18 yet. For a biological father to try and sell his daughter so blatantly was just disgraceful. Furthermore, Bok Dung didn't truly believe Lan Fam was a real immortal. After all, back in the day, his master on Mount Kunlun only knew Old Master Ta, that is, Ta Hai's father now. His disciple should have come here to find Old Master Ta, instead. I think you should verify his identity clearly before you rush to sell our daughter. What do you mean, sell our daughter? Don't talk nonsense! At first, Ta Hai seemed angry, but then he felt his wife's words made sense, so he replied, All right, I'll call my father. That kid has already been settled into little Duyet's room. Make sure to tell her to sleep in a different room tonight. At this moment, Lan Fam was already obediently in the room. However, the room looked a bit too girly and was filled with teddy bears. He thought it didn't suit him at all. Just as Lan Fam was wondering if he should ask to change rooms, from behind, a screeching sound rang out, like fingernails scratching against a glass door. He turned his head and saw a zombie crawling like a lizard outside the window. He didn't know where this thing came from, but it seemed to be seeking revenge for the monster he had just killed. The monster slammed its head against the glass and burst into the room. Lan Fam heard Ta Hai's voice from outside. It seemed he had heard the commotion inside. Little Immortal, are you all right? I'm fine, just a cockroach. Uncle Ta, there's no need to worry, Lan Fam replied. By this time, he had already grabbed the zombie. With one hand, he pinned its arms, and with the other, he clamped its mouth shut. That's good then, little Immortal. Get some sleep early. Tomorrow I'll take you to the company to start your job. Understood, Lan Fam replied, and this time he snapped the zombie's neck to finish it off. After checking in on Lan Fam, Ta Hai and his wife went outside to call Old Master Ta to confirm his identity, but they forgot to tell Ta Duyet to sleep in a different room. A while later, after she finished showering and saw no one around, she walked straight into her bedroom. Ta Duyet opened the door and saw Lan Fam using some kind of energy that looked like a blue flame to incinerate a... She slammed the door shut immediately, muttering to herself that she must be dreaming. After gathering her courage, Ta Duyet opened the door again to find the room clean, with Lan Fam hugging a teddy bear, looking completely innocent. Phew, it really was just a dream, she thought. Ta Duyet let out a sigh of relief, then marched aggressively toward Lan Fam, demanding, "Why are you in my room? Get out right now!" Lan Fam replied innocently, saying that Ta Hai had told him to come to this room. But Ta Duyet was determined to kick him out of the room no matter what. Lan Fam didn't argue with her anymore, but as he was about to leave, Ta Duyet noticed the shattered glass door. She remembered the scene she thought was just a hallucination earlier, felt a sudden wave of fear, and quickly chased after Lan Fam. "Wait, what did you just do in my room?" "Just dealing with a supernatural hazard, the kind you people call a zombie," Lan Fam said, not hiding anything from her. Ta Duyet felt a chill run through her entire body. So zombies were real? And with the glass door broken, she didn't feel safe anymore. So the person who, just a minute ago, was coldly chasing Lan Fam out of the room suddenly hugged him tightly from behind. "Don't leave me alone! I want to sleep with you!" The scene of Ta Duyet recklessly pulling Lan Fam back to her room was witnessed by Ta Hai and Bok Dung. They were shocked to see their daughter actually making a move on this little immortal guy. And Ta Hai, having just finished a phone call confirming the boy's identity, felt that this was truly wonderful news. If Ta Duyet and this boy could actually make things official, then the Ta family would be able to climb high and stand on equal footing with the two great pillars of Dung City, the Chow family and the Tu family. And so that night, Lan Fam slept in the same bed as Ta Duyet. Of course, he didn't feel anything, because right then, Lan Fam was busy thinking about the zombie from earlier. It was a supernatural hazard. Exterminating it didn't increase his merit or karma, but why did that thing still hold on to its emotions? Because Lan Fam clearly heard that. Monster roaring, demanding he pay with his life for its woman as it smashed through the door. Lost in thought, Lan Fam didn't even realize when he drifted off to sleep. The next morning, Ta Hai drove him to the company himself. He had arranged a position for Lan Fam in the public relations department, where all he had to do was show up, drink a cup of coffee, and clock in. That was it. "Thank you, Uncle Ta. As long as my food and lodging are covered, I can handle the rest myself." Ta Hai smiled to himself, feeling confident that he had already secured Lan Fam as his future son-in-law. Then, Lan Fam stepped out of the car under the scrutinizing gazes of many company employees. They found it strange, and rightly so. After all, he was driven by Ta Hai himself as his personal chauffeur. The gossiping crowd kept their eyes on Lan Fam, watching him head to the PR department on the first floor. "Hello, I'm the new hire. Uncle Ta Hai told me to come to this department to work." Lan Fam approached the receptionist and said, "You aren't mistaken, are you? Our department is all women, you know." The receptionist looked a bit awkward, but immediately after, the PR manager, Vien, a beautiful woman, came out to welcome him personally. Ta Hai had already spoken to her privately. For the next 3 months of his internship, Vien would be Lan Fam's direct supervisor. After the introductions, Vien took Lan Fam to change his outfit. While walking, she explained that in public relations, image and charisma were everything, and his current clothes just wouldn't do. "But a friend sent me a new set this morning." Vien turned and said, "That's the dressing room. The new clothes are in there." A luxurious suit had been prepared. After changing into the proper attire, Lan Fam looked like a cold, powerful CEO straight out of a movie, which even made her gasp. Not bad at all, she thought. On the way to the office, he asked Vien, "Who gave me these clothes?" She thought for a moment and replied, "She said her surname is Chow. She seemed very busy. She just dropped the items off and left immediately." As soon as he heard the name Chow, Lan Fam knew it had to be Chow Gyai. Kai. He secretly thought, so it was her. Upon arriving at the office, Vien guided him and instructed him, "You sit at your desk and wait for me. I'm going to get some documents. After that, you're coming out with me." No sooner had he warmed his seat, then Lan Fam was surrounded by curious female colleagues. Without any hesitation, they spoke in a mocking tone. "That suit you're wearing looks like a designer brand, doesn't it? Are you sure this isn't a fake?" Tutu chimed in, sounding mocking. "I heard President Ta personally assigned you here. So young, and you already know how to pull strings to get ahead, huh?" Another colleague clicked her tongue and asked, "Are you sure you aren't, like, special to President Ta or something?" Tutu leaned in closer, goading him. "Say something to make our manager happy, come on. We can even teach you some of the office's unspoken rules if you'd like." Lan Fam didn't care at all, just looked away indifferently. Suddenly, Vian Vian appeared behind them and barked, "Shut your mouths! It's work hours! What are you all gossiping about?" They quickly scattered. He glanced at her, thinking to himself that since she just helped him, he felt a bit better about her. She seemed like a decent person. Vian Vian turned to Lan Fam. "Get up and follow me. We're meeting a client." He agreed to go along. Once the two of them left, the others gathered again to badmouth them. They're off to try and seal a deal with Thien Trio Group again. "I heard they wouldn't even look at her there anymore," another added. "This time she even brought that dead weight with her. Who knows what she's thinking?" At the Kim Lap Hotel, while waiting for the client, she gave Lan Fam a heads up. "This is today's battlefield." Sitting in the private room, Vian Vian kept reminding him, "The client will be here soon. Watch your manners and your language." A bald man walked in, smiling. "Am I late?" It was President Dien from Thien Trio Group. She quickly rushed over to shake his hand. "Welcome, President Dien. I've admired you for a long time." President Dien teased, "No need to rush. Manager Vian's hands are so soft, smooth as jade." He rudely scanned her body with his eyes. She forced a professional, stiff smile and replied, "President Dien, you love to joke. Are you the only one coming today?" As she said that, she immediately pulled her hand back. Lan Fam stood to one side, observing the man. President Dien sat down with a hearty laugh, his voice full of confidence. "Just me is enough. Everything that needed to be discussed has already been settled. I'm just waiting for Manager Vian's final yes." She frowned slightly and replied, "President Dien, haven't we already said yes ages ago?" "We're just waiting for your side to sign." He shifted to a suggestive tone. "Little Vian, surely you understand what I mean?" President Dien reached out a chubby, greasy hand with a nasty look in his eyes. "Just say yes, and I'll sign it right away." Lan Fam, who had been watching from the side, had had enough. He flicked a pair of chopsticks through the air. They flew like a dart, hitting President Dien's filthy hand square on, making him scream in pain. Lan Fam replied nonchalantly, "My bad, the chopsticks just took flight on their own." Vian Vian covered her mouth to hide a smile. Furious, President Dien ordered her, "Vian Vian, I demand you fire this punk immediately. Otherwise, forget about discussing this deal." Vian Vian didn't even bother to grovel to him. She curled her lip in a cold smirk. "If we don't discuss it, then so be it." Without any hesitation, she tore up the contract right in front of him. "I don't want to cooperate with you either." President Dien was livid. He stormed out, not forgetting to threaten her. "Vian Vian, you just wait and see." Lan Fam stepped forward and asked, "Did I just ruin your deal?" She didn't blame him at all. Instead, she thanked him. "No, you did great. Thank you for helping me," Lan Fam smirked lightly. "You're the first person who's ever praised me since I started working." Vian Vian widened her eyes in surprise. "Started working? What do you mean? Aren't you the son of the general manager? What did you do before this?" He answered honestly, "No. Before this, I just carried bricks." Vian Vian froze solid. Hearing this news was like being struck by lightning. Her soul left her body. She screamed in despair, "It's over. No bonus for me now. It's the end of the year. $1 billion deal just like that, down the drain. I thought with you here, even if the negotiation failed, the general manager wouldn't say anything. But you're not his eldest son at all." Lan Fam poured himself a cup of tea. "No, you thought it was $1 million deal, but in reality, it was rotten to the core." He picked up his teacup, glanced at Vian Vian and asked, "From a cause and effect perspective, do you think trading your body with a client is worth selling your soul for? If you agreed this time, what would you have to pay the next time you were handing over investment money?" Lan Fam coldly sighed. "Is this some kind of multiplayer game to you, or have you really become his plaything?" He calmly sipped at his tea. She yelled in anger, "Don't you dare use that cold, detached expression to say such taboo things." Vian Vian slumped, stuttering, But the negotiation failed anyway. When I get back, I'm still going to get chewed out. Lan Fam closed his eyes and frowned slightly, comforting her. It's okay. Vien, thinking he had a brilliant plan, asked happily, You have a solution? Lan Fam, cold and responsible, pointed his finger at himself and stated, This happened because of me, so I'll take the heat. She was stunned, looking like she'd been hit by a paralyzing spell. At the Ta Corporation office, in the CEO's office, Vien honestly confessed to Ta Hai, President Ta, I'm so sorry. I blew the project. Continued. I blew the project this time. He clasped his hands together and asked coldly, What's the reason? We've been following this project with Thien True Group for half a year, and you ruined it all after one dinner? Plus, Thien True Group already called me, saying someone hit him and demanding I give a clear explanation. She was extremely uncomfortable, not knowing where to start, stammering, because... Lan Fam interrupted her and explained, Uncle Ta Hai, I'm the one who hit him. Finding out that Lan Fam was the one who hit President Dien, Ta Hai didn't get angry. Instead, he laughed and asked for the reason. You? You hit him? Why on earth did you do that? He didn't hesitate to say it straight. Even though I've never worked in this industry before, my master taught me never to work with people who have crooked intentions. That guy started groping the manager's thigh as soon as he walked in the door. A guy like that is definitely a pervert. He stared in wide-eyed astonishment, silently pondering, could there be a hidden reason behind what the little immortal said? Perhaps he can foresee the fate of the Heaven Dynasty Group? Ta Hai was overthinking. Is the Heaven Dynasty Group on the brink of disaster? Is the little immortal trying to save me? He broke into a cold sweat over his own wild theories. With that thought, Ta Hai hurriedly stepped forward to shake Lan Fam's hand, thanking him profusely. The little immortal is right. I shouldn't be working with someone as unscrupulous as him. Vien was completely lost, her head filled with question marks. Ta Hai plopped back into his chair and sighed dejectedly. But this project is a lost cause now. Moving forward, our company is going to have a rough time. He gave a faint smile and added, If the little immortal can help me, my company will be much better off. He then pulled out a file and gave him a task. Little immortal, aren't you quite close with the Chow family? We have an eco-park project we want to collaborate on with the Chow family. She never expected Ta Hai to entrust such a difficult project to a newcomer like Lan Fam. Vien was inwardly shocked. This project was impossible for anyone to negotiate. What horrified her even more was that he accepted the project without a second's hesitation. Lan Fam took the file and said, Fine. Out in the hallway, Vien kept explaining just how difficult this project was. What is wrong with you? This project is impossible to secure. I've tried to book an appointment with the project manager at the Chow Group countless times. They didn't even give us a second glance. Lan Fam remained indifferent, showing no sign of wavering. Seeing his attitude, she anxiously pressed him. Do you even understand how serious this is? I ignored her question and switched gears, asking, What's the first thing you need to do when negotiating a project? Vien answered automatically. Obviously, you need to contact the person in charge. Still unfazed by the difficulty, Lan Fam agreed. All right, let's head to the Chow Group then. She stared at him, wide-eyed. Are you dreaming? Unless they invite us, we can't even get past the front door of the Chow Group. It's all about connections and money, he said calmly to Vien. You lead the way. I have an acquaintance there. I thought to himself, Chow Gyai Kai must be working there, right? She asked in surprise, You have an acquaintance? Vien pointed at a skyscraper and exclaimed, That whole building belongs to the Chow Group. Compared to them, we're nothing but small fry. Before she could finish, Lan Fam started walking toward the entrance, only to be blocked by security. Vien called out from behind, Wait, let me finish talking. The security guard asked him sternly, What are you doing? If you want to enter, please present your employee ID or leave your ID card and state who you are here to see. Lan Fam asked the guard, I'm here to see Chow Gyai Ki. She works here, doesn't she? The guard dismissed him with a contemptuous wave. You want to see President Chow? Are you kidding me? Go back where you came from. President Chow doesn't see outsiders. Even Vien couldn't believe it. She grabbed Lan Fam's sleeve to stop him. What exactly are you trying to do? Right now, Chow. Gyai Kai is the CEO of the Chow Group, young and incredibly successful. What are you thinking? Suddenly, a supercar pulled up right next to them. Chow Gyai Kai stepped out, beaming. She took off her sunglasses, smiled, and asked, Lan Fam, why are you here? Vien's eyes widened again as she stared at him. She stammered, You two actually know each other? In the CEO's reception room, Chao Gyai-ki asked Lan Fam, So you came here today, specifically on behalf of Ta-hai to discuss the partnership? She took the contract and read it over, looking hesitant. A partnership wouldn't be a problem, but... Lan Fam asked without hesitation. But what? Vien, standing to the side, was sweating, screaming internally. Oh no, it's not going to be that simple. Chao Gyai-kai teased Lan Fam. You have to come work for my company. Vien's eyes went wide and her jaw dropped in shock. Meanwhile, Lan Fam flatly refused and decisively snatched the contract back. In that case, I'm not interested in the partnership either. Vien couldn't help but panic at his arrogance, screaming in her mind. This guy actually rejected an invitation from the heiress and CEO of the Chao Group. Chao Gyai-ki held on to the contract, regretting her move, and pleaded, I was just joking, don't get so tense. Watching the two of them playing tug-of-war with the contract, Vien's worldview shattered. She covered her face in disbelief. Are they flirting with each other? She picked up a pen to sign and winked, adding a condition. I'll sign it, sure. But you have to stay with me today. The clothes you're wearing are too cheap. I'll get you a new outfit. Lan Fam agreed immediately. No problem. Vien was now certain of her theory that he must be the son of some powerful figure. After signing the contract, Chao Gyai-kai said professionally, You can discuss the remaining details with my assistant. Vien responded respectfully, No problem at all, thank you, President Chao. He was beaming with joy, wondering why she was so happy. Chao Gyai-kai replied, Because if it weren't for you, a small family company like Ta-hai's would never be able to partner with us in their lifetime. She turned to go. She imagined he would be treated like a hero. According to her explanation, Vien would be showered with praise by Ta-hai. Vien surely lived up to being the manager of the Foreign Affairs Department. She would be cheered on by her colleagues. You managed to secure a partnership with the Chao Group. You're amazing. You're our hero. Lan Fam asked about her imaginary hero. A hero? Vien pictured Superman or a sword-wielding knight. Chao Gyai-ki, confused by Lan Fam's eccentric thoughts, questioned him. You aren't thinking of something weird again, are you? She winked and suggested, Let's go. I'll take you out for a stroll. Chao Gyai-ki then casually took his hand right in front of the company staff, making them green with envy. A colleague stared wide-eyed, asking, Is this pretty boy being kept by the boss? Another gritted their teeth, voice dripping with jealousy. How could my goddess date someone else? I have to curse this little brat. Yet another coworker chimed in smugly. You guys are overthinking it. How could the boss date him? Is this guy even half as handsome as me? The other two looked at him with nothing but disdain. At the shopping mall, the two of them were walking around when Lan Fam saw the staff standing in neat rows, bowing to her, so he asked her, Are you some kind of big shot? What kind of big deal are you? Why are these people bowing to you so respectfully? Chao Gyai-ki modestly explained, I'm not really a big shot, I just spend money here quite often. Every time I come here, these ladies get tips that are more than their monthly salary, so how could they not like me? She examined a shirt, happily praising it. This outfit looks like it really suits you, he replied bluntly. I still prefer my Taoist robes. Chao Gyai-ki walked into the store, pointed at that outfit, and requested, I want to try that one. The shop assistant beamed, No problem at all. Once Lan Fam tried on the clothes, he turned to the clerk and asked, It really fits perfectly. However, I just saw the price tag. It costs 20,999 yuan. Did you use 1,000-year-old snake scales to sew this? She, on the other hand, was busy enjoying his handsome appearance, silently thinking to herself, This kid really looks great. He's just so handsome. The clerk gave an awkward smile at Lan Fam's bizarre question. We don't have anything like that. We just ordered it from a master with the finest craftsmanship in France. There is only one such piece in the entire world. He flatly took off the shirt and handed it back, commenting, Since it's not made from a 1,000-year-old snake spirit, it's not a treasure at all. It's just a useless, ordinary item. My master said, Ordinary things are just a waste of time for cultivators like us. I don't want to buy things that are useless to me. Chao Gyai-kai pulled out a black card, boldly ordering, I'm buying this outfit, take the card. Lan Fam flipped his attitude faster than a pancake, putting the shirt back on. Since you've already decided to buy it, then forget it, I won't take it off. The clerk was overjoyed. Yes, of course! Boss Chow is so generous! Lai Nguyen, from a branch of the Lai family, walked up with a cigarette in his mouth and a smug laugh. Boss Chow, what a coincidence! I heard you're keeping a young man? He even started preaching to her. That's not right. Your mother has already agreed to let me be with you. Chow Gyai Kai retorted with disgust. But I don't agree. Lai Nguyen glanced at him with pure contempt and threatened. So it's this little brat who seduced my girlfriend? Are you tired of living? Lan Pham looked at Lai Nguyen through half-closed eyes and warned, You want to create karma, but I don't want to reap the evil consequences. You are arrogant and stubborn, creating far too much karma. In this life, you won't have a good ending. He laughed mockingly. What kind of nonsense are you spouting? When I was running these streets, you weren't even born yet, probably still breastfeeding. Lai Nguyen tossed a stack of cash in front of Lan Pham, sneering, Here's 20,000 next time I see you. Flirting with my woman again, I'll definitely break your arms and legs. His expression remained unchanged as he pointed to the clothes on his body and argued, My master told me that a person must know when to take and when to let go. Miss Chow just bought me an outfit worth 299,000 and you want to cripple me for 20,000? Are you stupid or am I? He was furious, gritting his teeth. You! Jai Kai behind him covered her mouth to stifle a giggle, silently applauding in her heart. This kid really knows how to drive people crazy. Unable to win the argument, Lai Nguyen screamed in rage, Bodyguards, throw this brat out for me! Throw him from the second floor and let him fall to his death! Two large bodyguards rushed over, politely saying, Sorry, little brother. We're just doing this to make a living. No hard feelings. As the bodyguards were about to grab Lan Pham, he blew a gentle breath, and the two were blown away by a whirlwind. Lan Pham grabbed Lai Nguyen by the collar, riding the whirlwind. He trembled and screamed, What are you doing? In no time, they were at the mall railing. He coldly asked Lai Nguyen, You probably often throw others down. Do you want to experience it yourself? Hanging mid-air, he pleaded continuously. Hey, don't let go. I was wrong. Put me down, please. Lan Pham looked down. Lai Nguyen's pants were soaked, and he mocked, You're so scared you peed your pants. Seeing he had suffered enough, he threw Lai Nguyen back onto the floor. Lan Pham watched him writhing in pain. He warned, Stop creating karma, or next time it won't just be being scared into peeing yourself like today. Lai Nguyen scrambled away frantically. I didn't forget to shout a threat. Just you wait, you jerk! Chow Gyai Ki walked over and praised, The way you deal with bad guys is certainly unique. Lan Pham walked beside her, smiling lightly. It's truly unique, because in most cases in this world, ordinary people are the ones being bullied. She sighed, changing the subject. Let's not talk about this anymore. Do you know who that was just now? Chow Gyai Ki explained. Hi is the cousin of the biggest star you like, a young master of the Kim Lang Lai family. He suddenly fell silent, his face darkening, thinking, The Lai family? A strange, indescribable sadness crept into his heart. They abandoned me, yet they adopted someone like this? The Lai family. She noticed Lan Pham seemed unhappy whenever the Lai family was mentioned. He's actually the younger cousin of that superstar you're obsessed with. The young master of the Jinling Li family suddenly went quiet, his face darkening at the mere mention of the Li family. As indescribable sadness crept into his heart. Did they really cast him aside just to adopt someone like that? She noticed that Lan Pham didn't seem happy when the Li family came up. Trying to change the subject, Chow Gyai Kai grabbed his hand. Let's stop talking about this. Come on, let's go get something to eat. As they walked and chatted hand in hand, she asked curiously, I've always wondered, you're a supernatural user, right? What rank are you? Lan Pham replied, The monk mentioned last time that I was a rank 6. You were right there when he said it, remember? Chow Gyai Kai exclaimed in admiration. I was so scared back then that I didn't catch what you guys were saying. If you're really a rank 6, that's seriously impressive. My grandfather said a rank 6 can go one-on-one with a master. Lan Pham stroked his chin, feeling smug. I guess I am pretty amazing, huh? But internally, he wondered. I wonder how powerful I'd be if I were a super rank 1, she pouted, looking a bit annoyed. So what if you're powerful? You're taking a girl out on a date and didn't even prepare a tiny surprise. Chow Gyai Ki blinked, suddenly realizing what she had said. Her face flushed red as she clutched her head, chiding herself. Wait, am I acting like a spoiled brat in front of him? Seeing her head practically steaming, he asked with concern, "What's wrong? Your face is all red. Did you take your medicine or something?" Realizing Lan Pham was completely oblivious to romance, Chow Jai Kai pinched his cheek. "You're the one who needs medicine. Wouldn't a normal person ask if I have a fever or something?" Rubbing the cheek she had just pinched, he retorted, "I'm not a normal person. Once I resolve my internal conflict, I'm heading back up the mountain." She walked beside him and asked, "If you're so powerful, have you ever thought about staying here to protect world peace? Is there nothing in life you're chasing after?" As soon as she asked, Chow Jai Kai screamed internally, wondering why she had even said that. Lan Pham didn't answer, but instead asked her, "What about you? What are you chasing?" Chow Jai Kai looked surprised, muttering, "My goals, huh?" She thought to herself, "They call me a strong, independent woman, but in reality, I'm just following my grandfather's wishes and taking over the family business." Thinking this, Chow Jai Kai closed her eyes and said, "I don't know either." Lan Pham suddenly leaned in and touched her forehead. "I can sense that you truly don't have any goals." "Yeah, my mind is just completely blank." Chow Jai Kai shyly pushed him away. You can even tell that?" He shrugged and replied, "Of course not. I was just messing with you. Stop thinking so much. What are you going to treat me to? I may be a Taoist, but eating shrimp doesn't count as breaking my vows." As she walked beside him, she whispered, "Shrimp are animals too, you know." At a concert, crazed fans cheered, "Lai Yen, I love you like mice love rice. Lai Yen is the best. Lai Yen is the most beautiful. Lai Yen, I'm crazy about you. I'm going insane for you." On stage, Lai Yen smiled brilliantly and waved at the crowd, but internally she scoffed. Why have these fan slogans become so tacky lately? As the show ended, Lai Yen said her goodbyes. "Everyone, we'll see each other again very soon. Thank you all, I love you guys so much." Below, the fanboys scrambled to claim her affection. "She loves me too. She said she loves me. She was definitely talking to me." After returning home, Lai Nguyen ran back like a child to complain. "Sister Lai Yen, you have to stand up for me." Seeing his flustered expression, Lai Yen frowned and asked, "Who messed with you? Are they not afraid of the reputation of the Lai family in Kim Lang?" Continued. Lai Nguyen cried, stammering, "I was out eating with my fiancé and some guy just showed up out of nowhere, picked me up and tried to throw me off the second floor. My bodyguards were beaten half to death." Uncle Tan stepped up from behind and asked respectfully, "Young miss, should I go take care of it?" Lai Yen knitted her brows to warn the old man. "Uncle Tan, the person Lai Nguyen met was likely just a normal person, but you are a supernatural user. If you act recklessly, the Safety Bureau will keep an eye on us." Uncle Tan didn't seem to care, looking arrogant. "Whoever he is, if he dares to bully a member of the Lai family, I must punish him," he said to Lai Nguyen. "Lead the way." Lai Nguyen immediately acted tough again. "Okay, Uncle Tan, just follow me. He's definitely still nearby." She turned around and sighed, thinking, "Why are these two so much alike? I'll just have to pay for the damages later." At a noodle shop, Lan Pham was eating like a starving beast, with a pile of empty bowls already stacked up. Even Chow Jai Kai wasn't used to it, trying to calm him down. "Eat slowly. No one is going to take it from you. Why are you like this every time you eat?" Lan Pham chewed and said, "Up in the mountains, there were always weird wild beasts coming to ruin my meals, so I had to be fast." Just as he finished, Lai Nguyen appeared out of nowhere and kicked his bowl of noodles away, shouting arrogantly, "Here's your wild beast! Enjoying yourself, huh?" He only looked tough for a few seconds before Lai Nguyen slipped and fell flat on his face. Uncle Tan helped him up, and he kept provoking Lan Pham. "That's enough of that attitude. You still dare to sit here eating noodles, you piece of—" Lan Pham looked down at his pants, which still had a stain of filth, and sighed wearily. "Can you go change your pants and come back later?" Pham looked down at his pants, still stained, and sighed in frustration. "Why don't you go change your clothes and come back later?" That simple comment made Lai Nguyen snap. He covered his pants with his hands and screamed, ordering, "Uncle Tan, beat him up! He dared to insult me!" The old man suddenly appeared behind him, throwing a punch while scolding, "Young man, don't be so arrogant!" Chow Jai Kai panicked and rushed over to stop him, screaming, "Don't!" Clenching his fist and not forgetting to lecture him, "Lan Pham, a young man shouldn't be so arrogant." Chow Jai Kai anxiously rushed over to stop Uncle Tan, screaming, "Don't!" Meanwhile, Lan Pham remained perfectly calm. He blocked the man with just a pair of chopsticks and asked mildly, "You move with such intent. Are you trying to kill me?" Not waiting for an answer, he used his chopsticks to fling the old man behind him. Not afraid of the confrontation, he began channeling his spiritual energy. "All right, then. I'll teach you a few tricks." The old man could only manage to gasp 2 words. "Did you dare?" A moment later, Li Yan's voice trembled with concern, asking if I was close to the hospital yet. What on earth happened? She parked her Mercedes on the roadside and rushed into the hospital. Li Yan opened the patient room door to find Li Yuan sitting by the bed, sobbing. "Uncle Tan is still on oxygen right now." Li Yan stepped into the room, stunned, and asked who had done this. Uncle Tan struggled to speak from his hospital bed. "Young lady, for heaven's sake, don't mess with that monster. He's too strong." Hearing this, instead of being scared, she felt a surge of rage. No one could hurt Uncle Tan and get away with it. Li Yan will absolutely not let him off the hook. Li Yuan, hiding under the hospital bed, was shaking. I don't know who that brat is, but he was with Chao Jiaqi. Chao Jiaqi even bought him clothes." Li Yan immediately pulled out her phone, muttering, "So he's one of the Chao family's people? No wonder. He's so arrogant and overbearing. But they seem to have forgotten their place." Chao Jiaqi picked up the call, her voice cautious. "Starlie, what can I do for you?" Lan Pham had just beaten up her brother and bodyguards, so she was calling immediately. Li Yan raised her voice to interrogate her. "Chao Jiaqi, if you don't like my brother, you can call off the engagement. But I never expected you to indulge your subordinates in assaulting people like this. You've gone way too far this time. Things aren't over between us yet. You'd better hand over that subordinate of yours, or the Li family will absolutely not spare the Chao family." Meanwhile, Lan Pham had returned to the Ta family's residence. Ta Duyet walked out, looking pale as she opened the door. "You're back? Where did you buy those clothes? Did you strike it rich? Oh, right. My grandfather is here today, too." As she finished speaking, the old master rushed out. He was thrilled, spreading his arms wide. "Little immortal, I've finally met you." Lan Pham coldly blocked him and said, "I'm not an immortal. Stand a bit further away from me. I don't like men, especially old geezers like you." Right at that moment, Chao Jiaqi suddenly appeared, panting as she called out, "Lan Pham, come with me for a bit." The two left, leaving the Ta grandfather and granddaughter behind. Ta Duyet looked on, stunned, wondering what they wanted to talk about. "Is it something I shouldn't hear?" The old master quickly reminded her, "You're still a minor, close your eyes." Lan Pham followed Chao Jiaqi. He walked behind her and asked, "Is this because I beat up the Li family's people today? Are they trying to get revenge on me? Did they call you just now?" She looked back, surprised. "How did you know that?" He replied, "Just a guess." Chao Jiaqi sighed. "I thought you were going to say you read my fortune by counting on your fingers. But aren't you worried?" "The Li family is thinking of ways to deal with you right now," Lan Pham replied calmly. "It's not like it's the first time. If they want to target me, let them. Isn't it good to settle this karma while we're at it?" Seeing his attitude, she couldn't help but feel anxious, her lips trembling. "Lan Pham, the way you are, it's like you've been abandoned by the whole world." Right after that, Chao Jiaqi tried to reassure him. "Lan Pham, no matter what happens, I will help you." Lan Pham seemed not to understand. He pulled out a chicken and challenged her. "Are you sure? Then help me butcher this chicken." The chicken struggled in his hands, making Chao Jiaqi shrink back in fear. "Don't come over here! Take it away." Lan Pham used this action to counter her words from earlier. "See? You can't even help me kill a chicken. You can't do that either." He patted Chao Jiaqi's head, gently instructing her. "Don't think about what you can do to help me. Just stay obediently behind me, that's enough." She was moved and called out, "Lan Pham!" But not even a second later, Lan Pham threw a bucket of cold water on her enthusiasm. "Because honestly, if I can't beat them, I still have to protect you." Which is a real pain. Chao Jiaqi cursed under her breath. "Drop dead, you stinking man, I was just daydreaming." At the same time, inside the Safety Bureau's surveillance room, the security footage showed 2 strangers. Who were they? They weren't the Li family's powered individuals, were they? Why were they in Dung City? The woman, named Li Bitch, walked beside Duong Long, the Li family's son-in-law, who was on the phone. "Got it, we're already in Dung City." The two quickly reached an alley. Li Bitch spoke up. "Is this the straight shot to the Chao family?" "Good." Duong Long picked her up. Li Bitch lay in his arms and whispered, "Long, be gentle." As soon as she finished, he stomped his foot and leaped high into the air, then continued, "Is there ever a time you aren't such a little vixen? You always say, 'Harder, harder!'" Duanglong jumped onto a nearby building to gain momentum. Then he continued. Li Bitch scolded him, "Shut your mouth! Can't this lady flirt once in a while?" Very quickly, the Chow estate appeared before them. They jumped straight down from the roof, causing the stone tiles to shatter and dust to fly everywhere. Li Bitch frowned and threatened, "Hey, Chow family, hurry up and hand over the guy who beat up my nephew. Otherwise, you know the consequences." Standing below the building, Lan Pham quickly realized someone had arrived at the Chow family estate. Without a word, he scooped Chow Jai Kai up. Bewildered, she asked, "Where are you taking me? We can just call a cab." Lan Pham felt enlightened. True. Even though I can run pretty fast, there's no need to show off with something so flashy. My master always said acting all high and mighty makes it easy to get struck by divine lightning. Gotta stay humble. The two called a taxi to return to the Chow residence. "Remember to give me a 5-star rating. Sending hearts." Lan Pham took a few steps and suddenly stopped. "What's wrong?" "I have a gut feeling I'm going to run into some acquaintances here." A voice boomed from inside. "You old geezer, are you finally going to hand them over or not?" Chow Jai Kai panicked. "Oh no, grandfather!" Inside, the Chow patriarch was being pressured by Duanglong. He slumped against the TV cabinet, firmly declaring, "Even if you beat me to death today, I will not hand over my young friend Lan Pham to you people." Hearing this, a furious Duanglong raised his fist. "Then I'll send you to your grave." Just as he was about to strike, Chow Jai Kai arrived in time and screamed, "Grandfather!" Lan Pham stood in front of the old man, blocking Duanglong's fist. Coldly, he spoke, "The person you're looking for is me. What kind of a tough guy bullies an old man?" He shoved the man backward, leaving him scowling. The Chow patriarch pressed him. "Lan Pham, why did you come here at a time like this?" "They wouldn't dare lay a finger on me," he replied flatly. "If I had arrived a moment later, your head might have been blown off." The words "blown off" left the old man stunned. Lan Pham, face expressionless, told Chow Jai Kai, "Take your grandfather inside, quickly. Leave this to me." She followed his instructions immediately, but before leaving, she didn't forget to caution him. "Stay safe." He assured her, "Don't worry. If I can't win, I'll just retreat." Hearing this, Li Bitch sneered. "Can't win and you want to run? Do you think you can actually get away? You brat, you've bullied the Li family. If you don't give me a satisfactory explanation, death is the only outcome." Meanwhile, the man named Duanglong was squirming and thinking, "This kid actually has some strength. Looks like I can't keep hiding my power anymore. Lai Yen, she must be here soon. Can't lose face in front of the juniors." The sound of a car pulled up outside. He realized, she's here. Lai Yen strode into the house with an imposing voice. "Who is it that injured Uncle Tan?" Li Bitch, oblivious, pointed straight at Lan Pham. "My good niece, you're here. It's this brat." Lai Yen recognized him instantly. Her eyes widened, stammering, It's you?" Lan Pham didn't hide it either, directly admitting, "It's me. You Lai family members rely on your status to bully others. You all deserve a beating." His thoughts were tinged with bitterness. My own sister is standing up for someone else. The world is truly as colorful and strange as my master said. Lai Yen dropped her arrogant attitude and softened her tone. "Even so, you shouldn't have beaten Uncle Tan like that. And you even made Lai Nguyen poop his pants in front of everyone. That was pure humiliation. Your actions went way too far." Li Bitch couldn't sit still, shrieking, "Why are you still talking to him? Husband, teach him a lesson, then we'll see." Lai Yen, what's wrong? It's like she knows this brat from before. "You dare provoke my Lai family? You'll pay a heavy price." Duanglong listened to his wife and lunged at Lan Pham using his dragon arm superpower. "I won't hold back. Go to hell." Lai Yen screamed in panic. "Uncle, that's my husband's power state. He's not holding back. What do I do?" "Is that all the toughness you've got?" With a light flick of his hand, the man was sent flying backward. Lai Beach's face darkened. Duanglong was knocked unconscious by a single punch from him. Could he have 6th grade superpower strength? Seeing this, Lai Yen breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness, he's okay." But the very next second, Lai Yen realized who had been struck was her own uncle. "Why am I worried about an outsider?" Changing her tone, she gritted her teeth and asked, Who? Who exactly are you?" Lan Pham calmly replied, From the mountains, no father, no mother, no sister to rely on. I've lived alone since I was little, just a poor kid the world forgot. Bitch unleashed her power, approaching with murderous intent. I don't care who you are, you hit my husband. You've humiliated the Lai family, this isn't over. Her power gathered in her palms. Lan fam, I'm going to kill you. Lai Yen panicked and screamed, Aunt, don't! Neither of you is a match for him, don't provoke him! Just then, a terrifying creature appeared behind Lai Bitch, roaring in rage. Her face turned pale, but before she could react, it swiped her away, slamming her into a large boulder. Aunt! Following the creature, Tranhai and another person appeared, shouting, Run! This is a level 4 annihilation grade monster. Headquarters is sending reinforcements above the 4th grade. Everyone else, get to cover. It crossed paths with Chao Gyai-Ki, who screamed in terror. The Chao Patriarch shouted anxiously, Granddaughter, run! Before it could reach her, a weapon pierced straight through its skull. Chao Gyai-Ki's mother, Tu-Du Lam, had arrived just in time, shouting fiercely, Don't you dare touch my daughter! The thing still hadn't died. It used its hands to block the incoming blades. Its head was riddled with large holes, seemingly scars from old battles. It leaped toward Chao Gyai-Ki again. Lan Fam finally made his move. It's been a long time since I used this technique. A bit nostalgic. He raised a finger and the superpower was absorbed right there. The creature prepared to impale Chao Gyai-Ki with its own blades. She shielded herself in fear. Tranhai shouted in horror, Protect the citizens! Chao Gyai-Ki! Luckily, Lan Fam was one step faster. A beam of blue light pierced through the creature's head. Its head was shattered, smoke rose, and it collapsed, lifeless. He walked over and reached a hand toward Chao Gyai-Ki. Lan Fam asked, completely unfazed, You weren't scared into pooping your pants, were you? It's time to move on, right? I haven't even had a chance to feel moved yet, and you've already annoyed me. Get lost. Thanks to that attack, Lan Fam successfully drew everyone's attention. Who is that brat? How can he be so strong? Is this kid really a rank 6 Esper? I can't believe he actually attacked that guy just now. Li Bitch secretly breathed a sigh of relief. If that kid had used his full strength just now, Duonglong would definitely be dead. He held back. Lan Fam looked at her and asked, Do you still want to fight? Tranhai was in the back, ordering his subordinates. Quick, clear the scene! With blood all over her face, Li Bitch replied, You are very strong, we are no match for you. But if you really want to mess with the Lai family can die. But we can never lose our dignity. We will meet again. You frowned and challenged her back. Is your dignity built upon bullying others? If that's the case, then your dignity is truly ridiculous. You can't bully others, and yet you feel your dignity is under attack? Aren't you afraid of being a laughingstock? Lai Beach was hit where it hurt and couldn't find a single word to justify herself. Lai Yen spoke up at this moment. Actually, this whole thing was started by Lai Nguyen, and he even brought Uncle Tan to help him. Lan Fam turned away, indifferently stating, I don't care if you're from the True family, the Lai family, the Chow family, or the Ngokwach family. If you still feel like nursing this grudge, then I'll play along with you until the end. Lai Yen cautiously glanced at Lai Beach and asked, Do we still want revenge? He saved all of us just now. Before she could answer, the old Mr. Chow chimed in, Do you really think only the Lai family has talented people? Think about it, how powerful must the force behind him be? Lai Beach lowered her head and speculated, That kid is at most 20 or 21. To be able to nurture someone that capable, it must be a major sect or a prestigious family. I'm afraid even 100 Lai families couldn't stand against him. Scene shift to Tawcorp. Vien excitedly announced, The Chow group just informed us that we can sign the contract with them. Come here, give me a hug. It was still Lan Fam, immune to her charms. He blocked her. The successful cooperation is due to your competence. This has nothing to do with me. Besides, this is my new shirt. Don't get your lipstick marks on it. He resentfully remembered last night when Ta Duyet left lipstick on his shirt, forcing him to wash it and then use his Esper powers to dry it. At this moment, Ta Hai spoke up. How can you say it has nothing to do with you? They specifically asked for you to be there for the signing today. Furthermore, I've made a decision. I want you to be the person in charge of this project. Lan Fam looked bewildered and pointed at himself. Me? And as expected, Ta Hai ordered, Vien, you will be Lan Fam's assistant. Realizing he couldn't refuse, he whispered to her, Vien, you're in charge of this. I'll just handle the basics. If there's anything, just make the decisions yourself, all right? Lan Fam was forced to wear a suit and stand for photos. You two in charge, stand a bit closer. That's right, smile a bit more. Kim Chi held the contract in her hand and he sighed. It's just a contract. Is all this pageantry really necessary? Chow Gyai Kai was about to call out to him when Vian Vian cut her off. Lan Fam, we just signed a huge contract today. Our department is going out to celebrate. You can't be absent, Lan Fam blankly said. No money. Vian Vian quickly explained. Don't worry, today it's on me. Hearing that, he finally agreed. All right then, I'll go. I'm starving. Chow Gyai Kai stood on the side listening and was so angry she could explode. I wanted to invite Lan Fam to dinner. Since the last time we parted ways, I haven't had a chance to see him. Men are all the same. As long as there's a pretty girl, they just flock to them. Scene shift to a bar. Everyone was happily raising their glasses to celebrate. This time, our diplomatic department signed a huge contract for the company. Cheers! Everyone was happy, except for Lan Fam, who looked miserable. He drank a few sips and still found it hard to swallow. Vian Vian and a group of beauties lined up to entertain him. You are the great hero of our department. Everyone, let's toast him. Then Tutu brought a glass of beer over, walking up to Lan. Fam, so impressive. You haven't even been in the job for a week and you've already achieved a great feat. You will definitely become an outstanding person in the future. Seeing her speak with a local accent, Vian Vian worried he might be a dragon, but Lan Fam wasn't petty. He directly brushed it off. That's fine, you can say it like that. My master also uses local dialects when he talks. There's no need to pay attention to that. All right, both clinked glasses. Tutu raised her beer and finished it. I'll drink first. Lan Fam just took a sip. At this moment, Chow Gyai Kai suddenly appeared. She called out loudly, "Get in the car!" Everyone was confused and asked, President Chow, why is she here? Did President Chow come looking for Lan Fam? Lan Fam got into the car with her. She sat inside and immediately grilled him. Is it fun eating and drinking with a bunch of female colleagues? It's all right. Chow Gyai Kai suppressed her anger. It's all right? He actually dared to say, it's all right. How annoying. But then she suddenly started thinking, wait, this isn't right. Why am I actually angry? He's nothing to me. Chow Gyai Kai, calm down. This person has only helped me a few times, that's all. Lan Fam asked her again why she wanted to see him. So Chow Gyai Kai composed herself and replied, my grandfather wants to invite you to dinner. He personally grilled some mutton just for you. I was a bit hesitant, saying, I'm not a vegetarian, but grilled mutton is a bit... Even though Lan Fam said that, once he arrived at the Chow residence, all those thoughts vanished. He and old man Chow ate until they were stuffed. This is so good. If it's good, then eat more. While Tutu had gotten drunk and was heading home alone. I have to get home quickly. Otherwise, tomorrow I won't be able to wake up. If I'm late, I'll definitely get my pay docked. Behind her, a pervert had appeared out of nowhere. He dragged her into a dark corner, shamelessly eyeing her body. Beautiful, not a bad body at all. Tonight, I'll take my time enjoying you. Tutu screamed in terror. Help! Someone save me! The pervert slowly approached her, greedily saying, I'm not just going to stop at taking advantage of you. After their fill, Tudo Lam suggested, Lan Fam, you should just sleep here. Chow Gyai Kai blushed and questioned, Mom, you're letting him sleep in the room right next to mine? Her mother winked at her and said, Don't worry, your father and I were the same way back then. Lan Fam walked into the room and plopped straight onto the bed to sleep. She said helplessly, Looks like this boy isn't as clever as your father. At night, the moon lit up the sky. Lan Fam's phone suddenly rang. He sleepily picked up, Lan Fam speaking? Something huge has happened. The voice on the other end made Lan Fam snap awake. What did you say? Vian Vian was at the scene, crying as she recounted, Something happened to Tutu. A beast robbed her, violated her, and then killed her. Lan Fam immediately got dressed and prepared to head over. Chow Gyai Kai saw this and asked, It's the middle of the night, where are you going? He didn't say a word and jumped straight out of the window. She screamed in panic, That's the 3rd floor! Lan Fam arrived at the scene where Vian Vian sobbed. You finally made it. I've already notified her family. I never imagined that we'd be celebrating together and then something this tragic would happen. He silently observed the situation. This wasn't just a simple murder. He then called a taxi for Vian Vian. Manager Vian, you should go home first. She refused. I have to stay here and wait for her family. Lan Fam firmly said, No need. I'll stay here and wait for them instead. Vian Vian finally listened to him and got in the taxi to go home. Lan Fam glanced toward the back. Tiu Tiu had now turned into a zombie. She was threatening the police officers who came to handle the scene. Seeing her about to hurt a policewoman, Lan Fam stepped in to stop her. Don't create any more bad karma. He suddenly remembered the two of them clinking glasses at the party and seemed to realize something. He closed his eyes. Then, he unleashed his supernatural ability. A blue light radiated from his mouth. Lan Fam used his powers to restrain Tiu Tiu and said, Call the specialists here. This isn't something you people can handle. Monster, run! Run quickly! If we retreat, what happens to the people? Very quickly, Tran Hai's team arrived. He spoke up. Young friend Lan Fam, you can leave things here to us now. He frowned. She was my friend. I know she's dead, but I want to avenge her. Tran Hai was startled. You mean, you want to help us solve the case? He confirmed, yes. While Tran Hai's team cleared Tiu Tiu's body, Lan Fam thought, this isn't the cause, nor is it the effect. It is simply because of fate. I toast to you. I will return your dignity as a human. Quach Tuong suddenly asked, How do you intend to find the culprit? The culprit behind this crime is unusual. They are carrying a zombie toxin, Lan Fam asked, slightly puzzled. You know who the culprit is? The old man replied, I don't know, but female zombies have been appearing more and more lately. We've managed to extract the poison spores from almost every female zombie. We suspect it's a man carrying the virus, transmitting it through intimate contact to infect women. Furthermore, the culprit is likely a cultivator with strange techniques. A team member suddenly approached and reported, Taoist priest. We found the security footage. There are two culprits. The screen displayed the image of the man who violated Tiu Tiu and the one behind the incident. After watching, Lan Fam couldn't help but feel enraged. I will help her resolve this karmic debt. Seeing his attitude, Quach Tuong warned, You are immortal. You cannot kill. Tran Hai stood aside and whispered, Taoist priest, this kid. He's no mortal. Hearing this, Quach Tuong laughed and added, But if you join our dragon organization, that would be different. He continued to recruit Lan Fam. My name is Quach Tuong. I am the Deputy Director of the Security Bureau and also the Deputy Leader of the Dragon Organization. Young friend, would you like to join the Dragon Organization? I didn't show any respect and flatly refused. No need. I don't need to join your organization to get things done. Tran Hai's eyes went wide with shock. This kid, he actually turned down the Deputy Director's offer? Someone personally recommended by the Deputy Director would at least get a position as a regional lead. A teleportation portal appeared in front of Lan Fam. I have to go settle this karma now. I advise you all, it's best not to interfere in this, otherwise, the evil karmic knots will only grow. Having said that, he slowly stepped into the portal, and his body gradually dispersed. Quach Tuong gritted his teeth in astonishment. This is... Right before his eyes, the boy vanished without a single trace. Quach Tuong sighed, pondering. So it was an illusion? Who on earth is that kid? Even a super first-grade master couldn't create that kind of impact on an old man's mind like that at the same time. Those two bastards who harmed Xiao Xiao are actually chatting away happily. I can barely control my rage against them. Thanks for the help, brother. Man, that feels good. That body and figure were just perfect, the bald guy said with a greedy grin, then added, Yeah, but my body has always been a bit powerful. That still doesn't satisfy me. How about we go kidnap another one? The blond guy laughed, his eyes squinting. Are you sure about that, brother? If you really want to make a move, let's agree on this. I go first. I've got a bit of a germophobia thing. The two started arguing. You want to go first? Who the hell do you think you are? Of course I go first. Otherwise... The bald guy, losing his temper, swiftly sliced off the other man's head. Fine, you can go report to the underworld first. As the guy lay motionless in a pool of blood, the bald man was still fuming, spitting, A pathetic loser like you actually dared to make terms with me. Lan Fam appeared on the scene, calmly remarking, Looks like you've already saved me the trouble of dealing with one. I've avoided creating one more karma, he thought, before turning to the other man and snarling, You tired of living, mutant? Lan Fam didn't answer, instead asking, You killed Xiao Xiao, didn't you? The bald man paused, confused. Xiao Xiao? You mean that woman? She put up a hell of a fight, actually. Her body was great too. When I was doing her, she almost... Before he could finish his filthy words, Lan Pham struck, the man screaming in terror. Who the hell are you? Let me go fast. Do you have any idea who I am? Lang Pham glared at him. Do you know? Evil men in this world don't always meet their karma immediately, but people like you. Lan Pham tightened his grip on the bald man's neck. Despite his face being smeared with tears, the man still tried to threaten him. I'm with the true family. Our ancestor is about to break through to the heaven realm. You'd better release me now, or the Trio family elders will wipe out your entire family. Lan Pham couldn't care less. He slammed the man into the ground, shattering the earth beneath them. He replied coldly, I'll be waiting for your elders to come try and wipe out my family. But before that, I'll make sure you never have a chance at reincarnation. Blood gushed like a fountain as the man's soul tried to flee his body, but Lan Pham was too quick. He grabbed the bald man's spirit. Still want to run? The soul begged, Lan Pham, please let me go. Please don't do this. If I get reincarnated, I'll definitely become a good person. I beg you, great master, please. Lan Pham didn't give a damn about his pleas and swiftly shattered his soul into nothingness. I told you, I'd make sure you never reincarnate. Suddenly, he felt footsteps behind him and sensed someone approaching. He spun around, flames radiating from his body, and barked, Who's there? It was Quach Tuong. He said gently, Lan Pham, my young friend, it's me. Lan Pham pointed at the body, feigning innocence. I have no idea what happened. I was just passing by. No idea why he suddenly blew his own head off. Quach Tuong was speechless at the sheer audacity of the lie, but seemed to understand the situation perfectly. This kid clearly saw everything and is still pretending to be clueless. He's a real talent. But that killing intent he had just now, it felt almost physical. Even a first-rate Esper probably couldn't pull that off. Such a talent. I absolutely must recruit him into our organization. Thinking this, Quach Tuong put on a friendly smile and played along. Lan Pham, sometimes people just explode for no reason. His head just blew up out of nowhere. It must be a genetic flaw in his evolution. Don't be so tense, young friend. Lang Pham looked at him, deadpan, and asked, Are you serious? You actually believe that? My master wouldn't even believe the words I just said. Quach Tuong walked alongside him, helplessly changing the subject. All right. Let's stop talking about this. Young friend Lan Pham, come with me. This is the long to base, Quach Tuong explained as they walked. This guy was a henchman for the Trio family who cultivated corpse energy. He was their young master. We've chased him a dozen times and came up empty-handed every time. This guy had at least rank 4 Esper strength, yet you took him down so easily. After walking for a while, they arrived at the Lin Gu tea house. Quach Tuong offered, Let's go inside, have a cup of tea, and talk. But Lan Pham hesitated. I was suspicious. Wait a second. Isn't this a bit suspicious? It's the middle of the night. Why is a tea house still open? Quach Tuong tried to reassure him. Lan Pham, don't worry. This is a long to base. It's absolutely safe here. No one dared to spy on them. They found a small corner. Quach Tuong spoke slowly. Young friend Lan Pham, do you know who the person you just saw, the person you saw blow themselves up, was? Lan Pham picked up a teacup, took a sip, and replied, Of course I know. He was a man who sowed evil seeds. The karma on him would take 10 lifetimes to pay off. I just helped him finish his first lifetime. Quach Tuong held his cup, kindly warning him, That's not what I meant. That kid was a henchman for the Trio family. They're about to produce a terrifyingly powerful master. Since you killed one of their own, they're likely going to hunt you down. But Lan Pham wasn't afraid at all. He challenged them, If they want to hunt me down, let them come. After all, my master already told me, if I really can't beat them, I'll just go ask him to help me beat them up. Quach Tuong was completely stunned by that statement. Ask your master? How can you just say something like that so casually? He assumed Lan Pham's master must be an incredibly powerful Esper. He couldn't help but wonder, is there really such a transcendent master in this world? But Lan Pham's next answer left Quach Tuong completely speechless. Nah, I was just making that up. My master rarely says things like that. He rarely takes action either. We've mostly lived on the mountain, so this was the first time he'd revealed his true intentions. But let's set that aside for now. Actually, I want to recruit you into the Long organization as an elder. If you join, then even if the Long clan of the Zhao family comes forward personally, Lang Pham didn't dare do anything either. his cold eyes suddenly turning sharp as he questioned with suspicion, "Is it really just full of benefits?" Quach Tuong maintained his composed demeanor from the start and replied, "Of course not. If you want to accept the position of elder, you must also help us eliminate all of the True family's minions, those who practice corpse energy. Furthermore, we hope you can intervene in the conflict between the Lai family and the True family." Upon hearing this, the teacup in Lan Fam's hand suddenly paused. He asked, "You're asking what the feud between the Lai and Trio families is?" Quach Tuong, sitting up him, answered honestly, "The Lai and Trio families have been mortal enemies for generations, though nobody knows exactly when the hatred began. These two clans have always been fighting each other, but fortunately they are evenly matched in strength, so it hasn't caused any major turmoil, but this time the Trio family has witnessed the emergence of a prodigy, the True family elder, Trio Nyat Tien. He actually broke through the first rank and entered the pre-celestial realm," the old man rattled on, while Lan Fam looked on in bewilderment. "I know, the name Trio Nyat Tien sounds very strange, but that is truly his name. Furthermore, Trio Nyat Tien has declared to all the people of the True family that in 1 month he will annihilate the entire Lai family." Quach Tuong's face began to look unnervingly tense as he spoke. "Moreover, the people of the True family have already started taking action tonight." A heavy atmosphere of sorrow instantly permeated every word the old man spoke. The members of the Lai family in Nam Ha City. Last night, in just a short span of time, 325 people died. They didn't even spare the infants. Lan Fam couldn't help but say, "This just keeps sowing more evil karma." Quach Tuong, with a face full of sadness, implored, "Young friend Lan Fam, our dragon organization was founded to maintain stability and peace. How can we allow so many people to be slaughtered? Therefore, we hope you can intervene in this matter. Stop the conflict between the Lai and True clans." Lan Fam sat in silence, thinking for a moment before saying, "I refuse." With that, he set his teacup on the table, stood up, and left. As Lan Fam brushed past Quach Tuong, he still didn't forget to leave behind a few words. "I don't want to take on any of those elder titles for now, nor do I want to meddle in secular affairs. Every person has their own karma. The Lai disciples bullying others by flaunting their power probably didn't just start yesterday or the day before. The hatred built up over many years is bound to face retribution sooner or later." The old man called after him with regret, "This is an honorary elder position, young friend Lan Fam, please reconsider." The next day, at the Ta Corporation building, early in the morning, an announcement was made asking everyone to control their emotions and bid farewell to their dear friend and colleague who was finally resting in peace. Finally, the portrait of Tiu Tiu was hung solemnly in the center of the office, and everyone paid their respects by bowing to her one last time. Vien Vien stood behind everyone and recounted the incident to Lan Fam. The police said the perpetrator was found. It seems he was beaten to death by someone. They even said he died in a gruesome way. Lan Fam, as if catching a glimmer of hope, hurriedly asked, "But what else?" Vien Vien held up a letter with the content, "My son died because of your daughter. I must make your whole family pay with their lives for my son," she explained. This is the letter Tiu Tiu's parents received. The two elders were already heartbroken by their daughter's death. Yet they still have to endure this threat. Lan Fam snatched the letter and tore it to pieces. He stated firmly, "I will handle this." Vien Vien asked with a bewildered face, "How do you intend to handle this?" "Don't. They say the perpetrator had supernatural abilities. I'm afraid the person seeking revenge is also a superhuman. You can't deal with this." Lan Fam didn't pay attention, turned around, and left behind an enigmatic remark. "I have my own plans," and then he left. As he walked, he thought of his colleague, his mind filled with resentment. A normal person who had done no wrong in her entire life was implicated by the evil karma of others. It goes to show that the Tao of heaven has never been fair. Lan Fam seemed to enter a world of his own. He silently affirmed, "If that's the case, then I don't need to follow the laws of karma anymore. I will reap all the evil karma myself." Even so, Lan Fam still didn't forget to apologize. "Forgive me, master. Your disciple is incompetent and has to use the magic you bestowed upon me. High error, it is here." Thinking this, he opened his eyes wide and used his spiritual sense to search for something. The technique was instantly activated, leading him to what he was looking for. Lan Fam's gaze penetrated through thousands of people in the crowded city, followed by the sight of a desolate mountainous region. It was so remote that there wasn't a soul in sight. But after a moment of searching, he spotted a group of people in blue cloaks. Lan Fam thought joyfully, "Found you." Meanwhile, in the forest, Tran Hai was also leading men to hunt for the enemy. As he walked, he instructed his minions, "The Trio family's men who practice corpse energy are hiding in this mountain. Everyone must be cautious and careful." In his heart, Tran Hai thought, "Taoist Quach said that Brat Lan Fam wouldn't help, so we have to rely on ourselves." Suddenly, a powerful gust of wind swept across, sending the group flying, accompanied by several shrill screams. "What kind of monstrous wind is this? It's someone!" "It's the person who just ran past here." Lang Fam's image immediately appeared in Tran Hai's mind. Was that Lan Fam just now? Thinking that, he immediately ordered loudly, "Hurry and attack the mountain! Charge!" The minions immediately carried out the order in confusion. Didn't they just tell us to be cautious and careful? Could it be that the caution and care the team leader spoke of actually means attacking quickly? As for the Trio family minions, the leader at this moment was planning, "A superhuman killed my son. Everything stems from the family of that woman named Tiu, my son. Ruined so many women like that and nothing happened. But when it was her turn, this happened." His eyes were full of hatred, but also determination. "Tonight, follow me to kill everyone in the Tiu family." The remaining men immediately acknowledged, "Understood, boss." Suddenly, a voice dripping with authority thundered out, "You're the one who committed the murder, yet you still have the nerve to say something like that?" Lan Fam grabbed him by the throat and hoisted him into the air, his face darkening as he spat, "People like you are nothing more than a blight on this world, a mere lapdog." Seeing their leader captured, the minions roared, "Let our tribe leader go, or we'll tear you into 100 pieces." No sooner had the words left their mouths than several zombies appeared and charged toward Lan Fam. The tribe leader was struggling to draw ragged, shallow breaths, still managing to wheeze out a plea, "Sir, please spare me, spare my life. I won't seek revenge against the Tiu family anymore. I won't do it." But Lan Fam wasn't interested. He cut him off coldly. "Go to hell and beg Yama for mercy." The moment the words were out, the tribe leader's limbs were instantly torn from his body and a spray of crimson liquid splattered everywhere. Yet Lan Fam still had no intention of letting him off that easily. "But I won't let you die that easily." One of the lackeys began ordering the zombies to kill the brat. "He actually dared to lay a hand on our tribe leader." Lan Fam cast a sidelong glance at them, his voice laced with contempt. "I'll leave these small fries to you lot." With that, Tran Hai's men surged forward. "Everyone freeze! You're under arrest!" Lan Fam, still clutching the now dismembered tribe leader, spoke to Tran Hai. "Leave this one to me." Tran Hai rushed to intervene. "Brother, don't do anything rash. Hand him over to us, after all you—" But Lan Fam didn't care. He turned to leave, tossing back an instruction. "Call Quach Tuong. Tell him I'm operating under the authority of your Long-to Elder now." Tran Hai watched Lan Fam fly away, confusion swirling in his mind. "The authority of our Long-to Elder?" He quickly pulled out his phone to call Quach Tuong. "Elder Quach, Lan Fam has agreed to become an elder of our organization. But he took the tribe leader, the lackey of the Trio family, away with him, and besides—" Quach Tuong, understanding Lan Fam's nature, cut him off. "No need to say more. Let him handle it however he sees fit. Inform all Long-to personnel. Do not interfere with any of Elder Lan's actions." Tran Hai immediately acknowledged the order. Meanwhile, Lan Fam brought the tribe leader to the edge of a cliff and asked, "In all your life, you've killed so many people. Do you even remember them all?" The tribe leader was fading but still defiant. "I don't remember, but you'd better remember this. I'm a man of the true family. Once our ancestor comes out of seclusion, you're dead. I'll be waiting for you in hell, you old fool." Lan Fam's eyes narrowed into slits. He growled, "If you can't remember how many lives you've taken, then you're destined to enter the cycle of reincarnation soon. Pay for all the sins you've committed. I won't kill you. I'll let heaven and earth deal with your karma." With that, he let go, and the tribe leader plummeted down the cliff. Lan Fam watched him fall, his brow furrowing in discomfort. He looked up at the blazing sun and held up 2 fingers, swearing, "Disciple understands master's true intent. The cycle of cause and effect will never end. But I cannot turn a blind eye to injustice. Once I finish up here, I will return to this mountain. Just as you said, master, one must weather the storm before one can embark on the path." Lan Fam arrived at the base of the Ta Group headquarters. Chogyai Kai had been waiting for him there for quite some time. Seeing him approach, she immediately asked, "Lan fam, where have you been? I asked the office staff and they all said they didn't know." Lan fam ignored her questions and went straight to the point. "Why were you looking for me?" Cho Kai answered shyly. "Actually, there is a small matter. I was hoping you could accompany me to an auction." Lan fam replied quickly. "Sure, no problem." Chow Kai was surprised. "You're not even going to ask where?" He answered honestly, "No need to ask. I also want to meet all kinds of people in this world." She could only sigh helplessly. "You really seem to be becoming more unconventional." "Forget it. Get in the car." In the car, Chow Kai kept her worries to herself. "Vien told me everything that happened. No matter what I try, I can't seem to get you back to the company. Seeing you like this gives me a bad feeling. What on earth is happening to me?" The car pulled up in front of a massive skyscraper. The driver announced, "We've arrived." Lan fam looked up at the building and asked, "Do people with money always hold auctions in places like this?" Cho Kai stepped out, naturally linking her arm with his, and replied, "It's a social formality. Everyone does this in high-end places." Lan fam asked blankly, "Why?" Tudolam saw Chow Kai walk in and called out, "Daughter, over here!" At the same time, Lin Nguyen and his mother were also present. Lan fam seemed to recognize him. "Isn't this the guy who crapped his pants last time?" Lin Nguyen saw him and panicked, wondering, "Damn it, why is this brat here too?" Tudolam turned to the mother and son and said politely, "Chow Ki has now found a suitable man for herself, so there's no need for you two to trouble yourselves anymore." Lin Nguyen's mother didn't seem pleased. She looked Lan fam up and down, judging him silently. "Chow Ki has absolutely terrible taste in men. What could this brat possibly have that my son doesn't?" She turned to ridicule Tudolam. "Look at the man Chow Ki chose. I can't even stand to look at him anymore. Even if she didn't choose my son, she should have picked someone better than that." Tudolam could only respond vaguely, "Indeed." But in her head she thought, the brat Chow Ki chose is the one who took out a 4th-rank powerhouse in a single move. Better or not, you can't judge a book by its cover. Suddenly, a bodyguard rushed over and announced, "Madam, this is bad." Tudolam's expression turned noticeably tense. She grabbed the hand of Lin Nguyen's mother. Lion Guy's voice was filled with unmistakable urgency. "Quick, let's go!" Lin Nguyen's mother was still confused. "What's going on?" Tudolam hurriedly replied, "The Zhao family is here." She turned to her bodyguard and ordered them to lead them out through the back door immediately. "The Zhao family is targeting the Lai family right now. We absolutely cannot let them cross paths." The guard immediately acknowledged, "Understood." Seeing the rush, Lan fam thought to himself, "It seems the relationship between the Zhao and Lai families is like fire and water." But according to the intelligence provided by the Long organization, the Zhao family patriarch still needs to pass one more hurdle before he can emerge from seclusion. Suddenly, a voice rang out. "Madam Tudolam, long time no see." The voice belonged to Zhao Hai of the Zhao family. "I never expected to meet the great beauty of the Tudo family here. I'm truly the luckiest man alive." Accompanying him was his son, Chao Kiet. Tudolam smiled lightly and replied politely, "Director Zhao, hello. I assume this must be your son?" Chao Hai glanced at Chao Kiet and said, "That's right. This is my son, Chao Kiet. Hurry up and greet Auntie Tudo." However, Chao Kiet didn't care. He pointed toward Chow Ki and said pervertedly, "Dad, I want that girl." Upon hearing this, Lan fam's eyes sharpened, and he felt a wave of displeasure. Tudolam was also disgusted by the remark and frowned, saying, "Director Zhao, your son doesn't seem to understand basic etiquette, does he?" Yet Zhao Hai acted as if nothing had happened and laughed heartily. "My son has an excellent eye for people. He knows the young lady of the Chow family is beautiful and perfect to be a daughter-in-law for the Zhao family. As for this marriage, I approve." Tudolam couldn't take it anymore. She shouted angrily, "Zhao Hai, what is the meaning of this? My daughter is not someone you can just demand to marry." Zhao Hai furrowed his brows, his voice dripping with annoyance. "Madame Tudo, you are an esper yourself, so you must know that our patriarch has already become a Shantian powerhouse. Now that your daughter is to be married into our Zhao family, it is a blessing left by your ancestors. You should be grateful for that." Xiao Kit continued to lunge toward Chow Kai with the most lecherous expression imaginable. "Woman, come with me. Tonight, I want you." Tudolam stepped in front of her daughter, grinding her teeth. "Xiao Kit, what do you think you're doing?" He turned to his father, whining, "Dad, I want her!" Seeing his son crying, Xiaohai angrily threatened, "Madame Tudo, my current Esper rank is level 5. Looking at you, you're likely only a level 7. If you continue to be stubborn, don't blame me for being discourteous." A flash of fear crossed Tudolam's mind. Has this old man really reached level 5? Indeed, the Zhao Patriarch's breakthrough has brought great benefits to their family. Now we have no choice but to rely on Lan Fam. Seeing that his challenge wasn't answered, Xiaohai continued, "Madame Tudo, why don't you answer me? Or is it that you also want to be my lover? Do you want to bring our families even closer?" Tudolam could hold back no longer. She shouted, "You! You are truly despicable! I'll fight you to the death!" Before she could strike, Lan Fam quickly stopped her. "Auntie, why do you need to dirty your own hands with this kind of lecherous scum?" Xiaohai was enraged. "Who the hell do you think you are to talk to me like that?" Lan Fam's eyes turned cold as steel and he growled, "I hate it when people ask me who the hell I am. My master said that in times like these, you must use the 8-character mantra to counter them." As soon as he finished speaking, he slapped the man hard across the face. Then, Lan Fam threw Xiaohai to the ground before he could even react. With one move, Lan Fam sent the father and son pair flying out the door. They soared into the air before crashing down painfully, leaving everyone around them shocked. Seeing this, Tudolam sobbed and praised, "Well done, son-in-law. You hit them well, that's exactly what should be done." Hearing her call him that, Chao Jiaikai felt embarrassed and reminded her, "Mom." Xiaohai, despite being in agonizing pain, struggled to get up and cursed, "I'll remember this, the day the Zhao family's Shantian ancestor emerges from seclusion is the day you will be dismembered. And as for Tudolam and Chao Jiaiki, by then, I want both of you in my bed." Just as he finished speaking, Lan Fam lunged forward, throwing a punch as fast as lightning, followed by a kick that sent Xiaohai flying 10 meters away. Lan Fam sighed boredly. Cursing is also a form of building up bad karma. Don't do it again. Chao Jiaikai stood behind him and whispered, "We'd better go. The Zhao family's influence is huge. I'm afraid they'll secretly take revenge on grandfather. If we make an even bigger scene and cause a death, I'm afraid the Chao family—" Tudolam heard this and shouted, "Tu fam, take us back first." She silently admitted that what Chao Jiaiki said made sense. The Chao family was, after all, not a family of espers. Upon returning home, Old Master Chao heard the whole story and was so angry he slammed the table. He stood up and cursed, "The Zhao family is too arrogant. They don't respect anyone. I will call the Tu family elder right now. Even though he's old, he's still full of energy. Tomorrow I will make the Zhao family come to our house in person to apologize." After Chao Jiaikai saw Lan Fam off, she said softly, "Thank you so much for today." He replied nonchalantly, "No need to thank me. I just wanted to see if the 8-character mantra my master taught me actually worked." Chao Jiaikai shyly avoided Lan Fam's gaze. "But still, you helped me." Suddenly, he reached out to tuck a strand of hair behind her ear and continued, "Besides, I don't want to see anyone else who has a good connection with me leave forever." With that, Lan Fam turned and walked away, leaving Chao Jiaikai standing there, stunned, not understanding what had just happened. When she finally came to her senses, she was so shy her face turned bright red. Was he confessing to me? That didn't sound like him at all. What on earth has gotten into him? Why did he suddenly touch my cheek? When Lan Fam returned to the Ta family, Old Master Ta had been waiting for a long time. "Little Immortal, you're finally back." Seeing him rushing toward him, Lan Fam dodged to the side to avoid the hug. "Ta!" Diet sat inside the house, starting to feel envious of his cousin. He thought, "I'm the grandson, the direct bloodline. Why has Grandpa never been that happy to see me? Never welcomed me like that?" Lan Fam ignored her and turned to the grandfather. "Master Ta, do you know about superpowered people?" Master Ta thought for a moment and replied, "Of course I do. Ever since I got to know your cunning master, I've been aware of the world of supernatural powers. And knowing there are quite a few supernatural families out there in the world, your eyes suddenly turned strangely sharp." Lan Fam continued, "So do you know what a heaven-tier powerhouse is like, Mr. Ta?" The old man replied seriously, "Although I'm not entirely clear on this matter. But I heard your master once say that stepping into the heaven-tier foundation means one can walk on air. In this city, it's very rare to encounter such a person. People like that have all but become immortals." Lan Pham was lost in thought, unconsciously walking on air as he blurted out, "Is that so?" When Mr. Ta saw Lan Pham walking on air like that, his eyes immediately lit up. You really are a little immortal." Ta Duyet saw this and was equally excited. "What is this? I want to learn too." Lan Pham asked himself, confused. "It's so strange. This way of walking on air. I learned it when I was 8. But 3 years ago, Master said I was only at the super first grade. Yet lately people keep saying I'm grade 6. Just what level am I actually at?" He looked toward the glowing television, unable to help but think to himself, "Is the real reason why they are about to be annihilated?" The next day, as Ta-Hai was driving him to work, he asked happily, "Little Immortal, it seems you haven't been coming to the company lately. Are you not feeling well?" As the car brushed past another one in the opposite lane, Lan Pham seemed to recognize Ta-Hai. He suddenly jumped out of the car, leaving Ta-Hai in a panic. "Little Immortal, what are you doing?" Lan Pham answered loudly. "I can't go to the company for now. I need to take a trip to the True family." He thought as he chased after the other car. That direction. That's the road leading to the True family villa. Ta-Hai and his son bowed their heads and he spoke respectfully. "Elder Trio, about yesterday. It was our mistake. We sincerely apologize. Last night I had a bit too much to drink and said some rude things offending you both. The elders in our family have already lectured and punished us." Lan Pham witnessed it all and thought, so they came to apologize. This is also a form of resolving karma, but why are there no supernatural guards protecting the Trio? Once they left, the son asked Ta-Hai, "Dad, so we're just letting it slide this time?" Ta-Hai, holding his half-smoked cigarette, wore a cunning expression. "Let it slide? In the dictionary of our Trio family, there is no such thing as letting it slide. Wait until we deal with the others. Then I'll settle the score with them slowly." Then the two of them got into their car and sped off. Lan Pham watched the car disappear into the distance, wondering, why does this involve the Lai family? What exactly is this karma? Scene change. As Lan Pham touched down on the ground, Chow Jai Kai suddenly spoke up. "Lan Pham, why are you here?" He turned around and asked her, "Let's not talk about that for now. Why did Ta-Hai and his son suddenly come here to apologize?" She dodged the question. "Because my grandfather found someone." He guessed it must have been the person who saved him. Elder Chow also walked over to explain to Lan Pham about the supernatural. "I asked the supernatural practitioners to help. It seems they don't intervene in the grudges between the True and Lai families. They just take money to help us exchange for peace for our Chow family." He clutched his face, his eyes tearing up. "It's my fault toward the Lai family. Initially, many supernatural families promised the Lai family they would help, but now they are just standing by and watching, while the Trio family has fostered too much ambition." Elder Chow added, "Last night, the Trio family openly launched an attack on the Lai family in the capital. A large number of the Lai family's people have been slaughtered, and even the famous celebrity singer, Lai Yen, is also missing." Lan Pham said to Chow Gai Ki, "As long as you guys are okay, that's good. The feud between the Lai and True families has nothing to do with us." He left her confused. Didn't he like the big star Lai Yen very much? Why? Lan Pham was deep in thought. Lai Yen is missing. Even I couldn't recognize her. That was her fault, not mine. I only need to look once to recognize her. Suddenly, the phone in his hand started ringing. He knew right away it was the Long organization calling with a mission. Lan Pham put it to his ear, and the other end said, "Elder Lan, do you still remember your covenant with the Long organization? The chief requires you to intervene in the feud between the True and Lai families. Right now, the first thing is to find the missing Lai Yen. If you have any requests for support, the Long organization is ready to cooperate." The last place Lai Yen appeared was Conlam City in the southwest province. He replied coldly, "Got it. Arrange a plane for me. I'm heading there now." With that, he shot off like a rocket. "Oh, Lan Pham, the master was right to say your 6 senses are not pure." Scene changed to Conlam City, and a voice rang out. "But that is exactly who I am. I can cut ties with my own family, but if others dare to touch my kin, I will make it so you can never turn your lives around for all eternity." Truong Tan Min reached out his hand to greet him. "Is that Elder Lan? I am the chief of the Conlam City branch, Truong Tan Min." Lan Pham didn't mince words and asked directly, "Any clues?" He replied that Lai Yen had been missing for 3 days. "It's like she vanished into thin air. I even suspect she has already left Conlam City." Lan Pham wondered, That's impossible. Right now, the True and Lai families are like fire and water. If she appeared in Konlam, there is only one possibility. She came to Konlam specifically to avoid the True family. There are only two possibilities for her disappearance. Either she was taken by the True family, or someone close to her is hiding her. Truong Tan Min agreed. He pointed to the tablet. Elder Lan, you're absolutely right. This is the last footage of her before she went missing. After she entered this hotel, she never came out. Even when the cleaning staff went in to tidy the room, they didn't find any trace of her. The scene shifts to a row of rental rooms. Uncle Chu, please, you're safe here. Rest assured, no one can bother you, Chu assured her. Lai Yen thanked him. Uncle Chu, you're the only person in the Lai family we can still trust now. There's no one left. She rested her arms on the windowsill, staring up at the sky, thinking, has our Lai family really reached the end of the line? My parents brought me here to hide, but what about them? What's going to happen to them? Then she thought of her younger brother. And my brother, if we go to heaven and meet him, will he ever forgive us? A loud banging on the door shattered her thoughts. A stern voice boomed from outside. Open the door! She jumped, terrified. So fast? Did they find me already? It was Uncle Ba peeking around the door. Grandpa, what are you doing? I've been knocking for ages. He barged in. Grandpa, I have something very important to tell you. Just come inside first. Chuba was startled, worried. Oh no, the young mistress is in the room. As soon as he entered, Chuba noticed something. Grandpa, it smells like really strong perfume in here. Are you hiding some young girl in here, Grandpa? The old man immediately denied it. Nonsense. If you have something to say, just say it. Say it and get out! Inside, he sighed in relief, thankful his grandson hadn't spotted Lai Yen. Chuba chuckled. Grandpa, you know me best. Actually, I wanted to ask for some money. I just met a girl recently and I need some cash. I'm doing this so I can give you a grandson soon, aren't I? Chuba frowned. You're 25 years old already. You don't have a stable job and now you're asking this old man for money to date? What exactly do you want out of life? He grabbed his grandfather's arm, acting like a spoiled child. Grandpa, I just haven't found my true calling yet. Once I'm married, I'll definitely find a good job. And I'll take care of you! Hearing him say that, Chuba sighed and pulled out a small pouch of money. He warned him, You wretch, you must treat that girl right. As soon as he saw the money, Chuba, his eyes lit up and he snatched the bag. When it comes to dating, you can't be stingy. I'll take all this money. See ya, Grandpa. Suddenly, a sparkling necklace caught his eye. Chuba quickly grabbed it and hid it behind his back, backing toward the door. Grandpa, once I strike it rich, I'll make sure you live a happy, comfortable life. The old man scolded him as he walked out. Out on the street, he spun the necklace. This old man hiding a woman is one thing, but he even bought her such an expensive necklace. If it's real, I'll give it to Tu Ting. Then tonight, I'll finally get lucky. Chuba skipped down the street thinking, an 18-year-old girl, pretty as a flower. Unbeknownst to him, men in black were closing in. They surrounded him from all sides, making him panic. What do you want? Back at the Lai family ancestral home, many people had gathered. A man spoke up. All the descendants of the Lai clan have been settled. Leader, what should we do next? Actually, there's no need to be this tense. We could just admit our mistake to the Trio family and apologize, maybe. That suggestion was immediately rejected by the Lai family leader. The Lai family will never be hunting dogs for the Trio family. The Lai patriarch declared proudly, the glory of our ancestors cannot be destroyed in our hands. He shouted, even if there is only one of us left, we will fight to the end. The Lai family will not surrender. Everyone raised their fists, shouting in unison, fight to the end. The Lai family will never surrender. Lai Daodong added, our clan is not afraid of death. If the True family wants war, we will give them war. This time I will reveal the Lai family's trump card. The scene shifts to the city. Lan Pham thought, as long as she is in Konlam City, I will definitely find her. He was panting, still having not found Lai Yen. Where are you hiding? But he didn't give up. I must find her. He activated his divine eye. He looked toward a large building hall. It was Trio Hai and his father. They had also arrived in Konlam City. Then he peered into a room. Is this the leader the Trio family sent to find Lai Yen? He looked at the green-haired man bowing and couldn't believe his eyes. Tan Min? How can a member of the Long organization be with those scumbags from the Trio family? He showed his photo to the man in front of him. Lang Fam wondered, is Tan Min or the Long organization betraying me? A man in black produced a necklace. Next to him, Chuba was tied up. Lang Fam recognized the necklace immediately. It was Lai Yen's. Seeing Chuba blindfolded, he guessed, they must be interrogating him about where he got the necklace. After hearing his testimony, they rushed out. Lan Fam panicked. Oh no, they're going after Lai Yen! Han dove from the top of the building, deciding to tail them. After a while, the car stopped. The true family elder ordered, Lai Yen is right in there. Must capture her alive! The henchmen swarmed forward. The old guard saw them coming. Trembling, he raised his hands to block them. What do you want? Looking for me? Identify yourselves. But he was immediately knocked away. Get lost! They smashed the door down and stormed in. The Zhao family elder speaks up. Young Miss Li Yan, we've found you. Li Yan is startled to see them. Chuba stands protectively in front of her. Don't you dare come any closer. Young miss, run. I'll risk my life to buy you some time. The Zhao elder sneers. Loyalty? Don't make me laugh. If it wasn't for this good grandson of yours, we never would have tracked you down here. The old man trembled in fear for his grandson. Seeing the situation getting out of hand, Li Yan spoke up. Stop giving them a hard time. I'm the one you want, right? I'll go with you. Seeing her being held by them, Uncle Chu cried out, You scumbags! Let the young lady go! Uncle Chu's grandson was immediately struck, vomiting blood. The old man screamed, Grandson! The elder then threw the foaming, unconscious grandson to the ground. He sneered, He's not dead yet, just turned into a fool. If you're so intent on being a loyal servant, I wonder if your grandson can take another hit. Uncle Chu looked at his grandson, tears welling up. My boy. True Keat looked at Li Yen's slender figure and licked his lips. Not bad. How about I have some fun with her? He begged the elder. Elder, can you give me the chance to taste this woman? You have to break her so she becomes the true family's bitch. The vile man agreed. Of course you can. As long as you don't kill her, feel free to torment her. Trio Kiet thanked the elder. Hearing this, Li Yen thought to herself, if he really tries to humiliate me, I will bite my tongue and end it right here. In her heart, she whispered, Little brother, I'm almost there to see you. Upon arriving, True Keat ordered his 2 henchmen. Carry her into the bedroom for me. The true family elder looked at the photo of Lan Fam in his hand, thinking, now we just wait for this brat to walk right into the trap. Well, you have to pull the weeds out by the roots. That's my style. In the bedroom, True Keat pinned Li Yen to the bed. My little beauty, let me pamper and serve you, she glared at him. I'd rather die than let you get what you want. True Keat said perversely, Die? You think dying will let you off the hook? I have a little hobby which is... Before he could finish, Lan Fam smashed through the window and slammed his head into the ground. I also have a hobby. Every time I see you, I beat you. Li Yen looked up at her savior. It's you again! 2 men in black rushed at Lan Fam with fists raised. Let young Master Trio Kit go, you bastard! Lan Fam easily dodged their attacks, slamming their heads into the wall. Accomplices are just as guilty as the perpetrators. Looking at her on the ground, he urged, Hurry, follow me, I'm taking you home. Suddenly, a flash of lightning streaked toward him. Li Yen panicked. Watch out! Lan Fam quickly caught the bolt of lightning. She asked worriedly, Are you okay? The true family elder appeared, sparks of lightning still dancing in his hands. So you really did show up. True Hai screamed as soon as he saw his son's head stuck to the wall. He lunged at Lan Fam in a rage. You're asking for death! But Trio Hai met the same fate as his son, pinned to the wall. Lan Fam shook his hands, reminding them. Looks like your memory isn't very good, is it? The 2 men in black behind the elder whispered to each other. Trio Hai is a 5th-rank fighter, and he took him out with 1 punch? This kid? Looks like he's got some real skill. No wonder Tan Min warned us to be careful with this guy. The elder shouted angrily, summoning lightning in both hands. As an elder of the Dragon Organization, you dare to wipe out the true family's men? You've got some nerve. Li Yen stood up, shielding him, grinding her teeth. This old bastard is a 4th-rank ability user. He's incredibly strong. You go first. There's no need for you to die here saving me. Her appearance distracted the men in black, who let out lewd comments. This girl's body is amazing. Let's have some fun with her in a bit. Too bad young Master Trio Keat won't get to enjoy it. Li Yen flushed red with anger at these words. Lan Fam threw a blanket over her and instructed, Step back. Leave this to me. I didn't come here to save you. I'm here on a mission for the Dragon Organization. The true family elder fired a bolt of lightning at him with a mocking laugh. Since you all want to play with that woman so much, just wait until I take this brat down. Then I'll capture him and make him watch you have your fun with her. Lan Fam didn't dodge, standing still as the lightning struck him. Li Yan screamed in panic, "Lan Fam!" With one hand, he easily absorbed the entire attack and mocked, "Is that all a fourth-rank ability user can do?" The two men in black stared in shock. The elder gritted his teeth in fury and decided, "If that's the case, then try my strongest move." He raised his hands to the sky, summoning a massive orb of lightning. The trio family elder blasted it straight at Lan Fam. Extreme Thunderbreaker! Li Yan reached out in alarm. "Lan Fam, watch out!" A massive explosion erupted as the attack hit its mark. A beam of light shot into the sky, surrounded by a thick cloud of dust. Seeing this, the two men in black sneered, "I didn't think the elder would actually use this move. Even a third-rank or even a second-rank ability user would be dead. That brat is finished for sure. This is the price for opposing our trio family." Li Yan sat in the dust, sobbing. Her eyes widened as she looked ahead. I was still standing tall after the blast, but didn't forget to taunt. "Is that really all the power you've got?" This was like a bolt from the blue for the men in black. This guy? He actually blocked the elder's attack? Is he even human? The true family elder broke into a cold sweat, panting as he thought, how is this possible? Even the ancestor wouldn't be able to escape this without a scratch. That little brat. Lan Fam taunts. "Is that all you've got? Then it's my turn." The elder panics as Lan Fam suddenly vanishes right before his eyes. "He's gone!" Lan Fam appears instantly behind the Zhao elder. The elder senses a murderous aura behind him and turns just as Lan Fam unleashes a powerful strike, sending him flying. The men in black are terrified as they watch him slam into the wall. Lan Fam reaches out a hand to Li and "Get up, let me take you home." She reaches out to take his hand but remains suspicious. Who exactly is this guy? The two men in black fearfully clear a path for them. Lan Fam says as they walk, "You're paying for the room repairs, or I'll come hunting for each and every one of you." They bow in terror, trembling as they chorus, "Understood." Soon after, he and Li Yan buy flight tickets and leave. She watches Lan Fam silently, her eyes full of sorrow. Does he intend to take me back to the Li family? If I go back now, the situation won't have changed at all. He looks out the window, his expression somber. Is the Li family even the same as it used to be? A brown-haired girl sitting behind them recognizes her. "Wait, are you the big star, Li Yan? Can I have your autograph?" Li Yan turns around and agrees. "Of course, where should I sign?" The girl says excitedly, "Sign on my jacket, please. Thank you." Li Yan sighs, watching the brown-haired girl's joy. "Thank you, big star," Lan Fam asks coldly. "You have quite a lot of fans. You're very successful. You must be very happy, right?" She falls silent, sadly recalling her own past. "Do you really think I'm a happy person?" He shares his thoughts with empathy. "You have parents who love you, fans who adore you, and more money than you could ever spend. How is that not called happiness? You're just going through a bit of a rough patch." Li Yan's eyes widen in surprise at hearing this from Lan Fam. He continues to console her, "The bonds of karma. In this world, there are countless people who use up all their energy just to survive. You probably have never experienced getting punched in the nose by a stranger over a single steamed bun." She blushes and looks away. I really have been very happy." Lan Fam looks out the window, thinking, "Yes, you are very happy. So happy that you've forgotten you once even had a younger brother." Scene shifts to the Li family villa. Li Yan suggests, "This is my home. Would you like to come in?" He politely refuses. "No need. The mission the Dragon Organization gave me was just to return you safely. Now that the mission is complete, I'm done." She quickly grabs his sleeve. "Wait, you saved me, so I should be the one thanking you." Li Yan thinks to herself, "I can't let him leave. His strength is unfathomable. I is the only hope to save the Li family." Li Yan's mother, Vian Thandong, rushes out anxiously. "Xiaoyang, are you okay?" She hugs her daughter tightly, sobbing. "My daughter, you had me worried to death. If something had happened to you, how could I go on living?" The scene makes him unconsciously recall memories of his own childhood. The mother, Vian Thandong, reaches out to Lan Fam. "Hello, I am Li Yan's mother, Vian Thandong. Thank you for saving my daughter." He is dazed for a moment before replying, No need for formalities. Vien Than Dung looks at Lan Fam's blank expression with concern. Young man, why are your eyes red? Are you not feeling well? He avoids her gaze. I'm fine. Li Yan then speaks to Vien Than Dung. Mom, he's a bit strange, but he saved me. He's a good person. Could we invite him in for a meal? She happily agrees. Yes, of course. Young man, please come inside for a meal. I'll personally cook for you. Thank you for saving my daughter. Lan Fam nods in acceptance. All right. He carries a heavy heart. Food cooked by a mother. It's been 15 years. She watches his back, puzzled. What is wrong with this kid? A moment ago when I invited him, he refused. But the moment Mom said one thing, he agreed. The Lai family patriarch, Li Daodong, slams the table in anger. This brat coming back with Li Yan must have some ulterior motive. Li Hao tries to persuade the patriarch. Why would you say that? Hai is the one who saved my daughter's life. The old man frowns and warns. Right now, our Li family is in a life-or-death situation. Only by fighting one final desperate battle do we have a chance to stop the Zhao family. Everyone else has found ways to distance themselves from us, yet this kid just happens to show up to help. Don't you find him highly suspicious? Hai is gradually swayed by Li Daodong. You mean he's a spy for the Zhao family? The old man rests his chin on his hand, ordering, It's very likely. Go, chase him away politely. Try not to expose his true face. But Li Yan says his strength is not to be underestimated. Li Hao bows. Understood. I will deal with this immediately. Vien Than Dung brings out a plate of fruit. Please have some fruit while you wait. You sat there in silence, looking the other way, ignoring the plate of melon on the table. She walked over to Li Yan and asked, Who is he? She shrugged and shook her head. I don't know either. You stood up and looked out into the courtyard. Is that being turned into a small garden over there? Li Yan immediately offered. Yes, do you want to go take a look? She led Lan Fam over to introduce the small house. This was the house we used to live in back in West Shu, but it was completely destroyed by an earthquake. My father had people rebuild it based on his memories. Only memories remained to rebuild this home. He froze, looking around, realizing they had never forgotten that little house from back then. Lan Fam stopped in front of a large tree, this very tree. Memories of himself as a child, sitting on a branch, sobbing his heart out, suddenly came flooding back clearly. His father standing below, arms open, calling out, Jump down quickly, Daddy will catch you. Lan Fam, trembling as he hugged the tree, cried, I don't dare to. I'm so scared. His father gently encouraged him, Be brave. You can do it. Daddy will definitely catch you. Summoning all his courage, he stood up and asked, Then you promise? Right after that, Lan Fam jumped, shouting, Daddy, I'm coming! Catch me! I was jolted back to reality, shocked to hear Li Hao's voice behind him. You are Lan Fam, aren't you? Thank you for saving my daughter. He turned to look at the man. A thought crossed his mind. He had aged so much. The man's attitude toward Lan Fam had shifted. If there is nothing else, please leave the Li family immediately, because our family is facing a great disaster, and I do not want to drag you into it. Li Yan tried desperately to persuade him. Father, he is truly very strong. He could help us. Li Hao roared in anger. Shut up! I am talking to a guest. How dare you interrupt? She stood there stunned, stuttering. Father? Han immediately understood the hidden meaning in his words. You mean you want to chase me away, don't you? Li Hao sighed and spoke tactfully. Lan Fam, it is not that I am chasing you away. It is because the Li family is about to face total annihilation. I do not wish for you to die in vain for our sake. Lan Fam couldn't hold back the sorrow in his heart. If I still carried that name, he thought, perhaps I would fight for everyone, but now, they don't even recognize me anymore. Li Yan watched his retreating figure, full of regret. Father, he is truly powerful. If he were willing to help us, we would have a better chance of defeating the Trio family. He warned her cautiously. What if he is a spy for the Trio family? We only have the mountain guard formation left to stake our lives against the Trio family. We cannot afford any mistakes. Lan Fam's footsteps. He stopped when he heard Vien Than Dung call out, Dinner is ready. Let's go inside and eat. He remembered, as a child, she used to call him the exact same way. Stop playing. Let's go inside and eat. Lan Fam turned back to look at the house, stammering, Dinner is ready? She noticed the vulnerability on his face and felt a shift in her heart. He wants to stay. After all, he is my savior. I cannot treat him like this. Li Yan stepped forward. Li Hao growled, "Little Yen, what do you think you are doing?" She grabbed Lan Fam's hand. "Please, follow me inside for dinner." He was surprised and stuttered, but Li Yen led him right past her father. "I am just bringing my savior inside for a meal." "That is perfectly reasonable, isn't it?" she said hospitably. "Hurry up, come in." 8 pairs of chopsticks were already set. A table full of food made Lan Fam remember. Braised pork knuckles. This was the dish he loved most as a child. He picked up a piece of meat at Vian Than Dung's invitation. "Hurry, try it. I only know how to cook simple, everyday dishes. I hope it suits your taste." She happily introduced the dish. "This braised pork knuckle is exactly how my mother used to make it. It's what my little brother loved most." She asked eagerly. "Never mind that, tell me. How does it taste? Is it good?" 2 lines of tears instinctively rolled down Lan Fam's cheeks. Vian Than Dung asked anxiously, "My dear boy, why are you crying? Is it that bad?" I was stunned, overwhelmed with emotion. It was still the same taste from long ago, the exact flavor from his childhood, completely unchanged. After a moment, Lan Fam replied, "It's delicious. Thank you, ma'am." "Thank you all." They were suddenly attacked. A massive explosion outside made everyone panic. "Oh no." Li Hao stood up to shield everyone from the blast, his voice fierce. The arrogant, booming voice of a true family elder echoed, "Li family elders and juniors, the master is here. Today will be the day you all perish. Prepare to die." There was a scar on his cheek, but he paid no mind. "Oh no, the true family ancestor is here. Everyone run." Vian Than Dung gripped Li Hao's shirt, whispering, "Brother Hao, I fear we cannot survive this catastrophe. I have one final request." He turned. "What is it?" With tears in her eyes, she pleaded, "No matter who reaches the other side first, if you find Len Yi, you must apologize to him. Ask him if he is doing well on the other side." His eyes widened in shock as he looked at Vian Than Dung. "So, Mother still remembers me. Mother still remembers my name. They have never forgotten me." Li Hao patted her shoulder. "I know." He marched outside with a heroic roar. "The Li family will die before we surrender. The Li family will die before we surrender. The Li family will die before we surrender." Li Yun grabbed her mother's hand. "Mother, we cannot hide forever. Why don't we go out and fight alongside Father? I would rather die than live like a rat, cowering in fear, chased by the true family until we have nowhere left to call home." Vian Than Dung sighed, sharing the same thought. "I'd rather die than live like a rat, scurrying around, being hunted by the true family with nowhere to hide." Vian Than Dung sighed, lost in thought. "My dear girl, I'm thinking the same thing as you. If the Li family is truly gone, what point is there in going on? We might as well leave together and go join your younger sibling a little sooner." She turned to look at Lan Fam, desperately urging him, "We have to fight. I can't stay here with you anymore. I believe that with your strength, leaving the Li family won't be difficult. So you have to go. If we have the chance to meet again, we'll decide then. Mother, let's go." She agreed to follow him. "You stood rooted to the spot, making up your mind. I know what I have to do." Lan Fam was stunned as he stood in front of a room. This very room. He looked at the layout and thought to himself, it's exactly like his old room. On the table lay a diary with neat handwriting inside. "Today was a very happy day. My sister took me fishing, but I didn't catch a single one. Today, Mother scolded me again. I hate her. Today, I want..." As you read the lines in the diary, tears couldn't help but flow. It turns out, they never forgot about you. Suddenly, the room shook, showing signs of collapse. Lan Fam teleported away, thinking, I can't let it go on like this. Otherwise, I really will lose them. Right after that, he vanished from the room. At this moment, at the Lai family ancestral hall, Trio Quay stood high above, while below, the Li family members were in a panic. "Patriarch, there's no way out left! If we lose this place, how could we ever face the Li family ancestors?" Hearing this, Trio Quay let out a mocking laugh. "A defensive array? You think you can stop this old man with this toy? Is that all you have?" Dao Dong held an 8-diagram compass, pointing it toward him while shouting in anger, "Trio Quay, as long as I, Li Dao Dong, am still here, don't you dare act recklessly at the Li family." He raised the compass high. "Everyone in the Lai clan, help me!" Everyone immediately raised their hands, unleashing their power toward Dao Dong in unison. An 8-diagram magic circle appeared in the sky. He was certain that with enough ability energy, this move would surely destroy that guy, Trio Quay. He unleashed the 8 Winds White Traces Killing Array. A beam of blue light descended from above onto the magic circle. Trio Quay's subordinates nervously warned him. Ancestral Elder, dodge quickly! Don't take it head-on! Another added, this is a finishing move that has existed for 1,000 years in the Lee family. Ancestral Elder, be careful. Trio Quay looked at the Lee family members, full of confidence. It seems your understanding of the innate realm is still too shallow. The power from the magic circle erupted and descended toward Trio Quay. Suddenly an explosion appeared in the sky. It was huge, turning the dark space blindingly bright. The massive blast shook the ground. Trio Quay's subordinates couldn't help but worry. The aftermath is too strong. What happened to the Ancestral Elder? Quickly find the Ancestral Elder! Another screamed. We can't! There's no way to get close! Dao Dong stood on the roof, speaking mockingly. The killing array, even a first-grade super ability user, would be wiped out by it if you weren't careless. Standing still like that, I'm afraid you had no way to dodge. Trio Quay's subordinates looked towards the explosion. Does that mean... He breathed a sigh of relief. We've successfully protected the Lee family. Hearing this, everyone was overjoyed. A man couldn't hide his excitement. We did it! We protected the Lee family! Li Yen looked toward the explosion and smiled. Mother, we saved the Lee family! Another added, that's great! Suddenly, Trio Quay's voice echoed through the space. So happy, are you? Too bad this old man isn't dead yet. Li Yen's face suddenly turned to horror. No way! Dao Dong couldn't believe his eyes widening. How is this possible? Is this the innate realm? He looked at the Lee family members with disdain. Is this the last resort of your Lee family? Is that all? His gaze shifted, turning ruthless. Then it's my turn now. Trio Quay summoned a pink orb into his hand. Immediately, 2 large craters appeared around him. The Lee family members couldn't help but be shocked. What kind of move is that? Dao Dong continued to use the 8-diagram compass, ordering everyone, quickly channel all your remaining energy to me. No matter what, we must hold the Lee family ancestral hall. Everyone in the Lai family poured their remaining energy into Dao Dong. He channeled his own energy along with everyone else's into the 8-diagram compass. With their very last bit of energy, they unleashed the 8 diagrams white defense array. He fell to the ground, utterly exhausted. Seeing this, everyone worriedly asked after him, Patriarch! Patriarch! Are you all right? Dao Dong spoke weakly. I could only boost the defensive array by 3 layers. This is the full power of our Lai clan. He absolutely cannot break through a 4-layer defensive array. Trio Quay smiled confidently. As expected, you still don't understand. He used his own innate power. 2 small orbs immediately appeared on his fingertips. He laughed. What could it possibly be? Trio Quay pointed his finger containing the 2 orbs straight at the shield created by the Lee family. Someone below gasped in surprise. Is that an innate attack move? Another mocked. Doesn't look that impressive anyway. Only Li Hao saw the danger. This thing is not normal! He immediately turned and shouted, Tandong, quickly take! Before he could finish his sentence, the first orb touched the shield. Cracks began to appear. Right after that, 2 orbs directly struck the shield. The ripples on the shield began to spread. Dao Dong struggled to hold his ground. What kind of ability is this? In that split second, the shield they had created was shattered by those orbs. The old man was also affected, spitting up blood continuously. The Lee family members were extremely worried. Clan leader! Dao Dong opened his eyes wide, looking at the orbs, unable to help but lament. Too strong. I can't hold on much longer. Why? Why is there no one of the Shantian rank in our Lee family? I was filled with suspicion. What on earth is this? The protective barrier was instantly shattered by the orbs. At the same time, Dao Dong lost all his strength and collapsed. Everyone was deeply worried for him. Clan leader! Clan leader Trio Quay simply flicked his hand, summoning a 3rd orb. You're too slow. The man looked up at the orb in terror. The 3rd one? The people beside him were equally panicked. It's all over! The 3 orbs slammed into the shield at the same time. The shield finally collapsed completely. Dao Dong's eyes went blank. It's over. Li Ha held his mother tightly, while Thandong closed her eyes, waiting for death. We'll meet in the next life. In the air, Lan Fam's voice rang out. No, it's not over yet. Immediately after, Lan Fam's figure appeared right beneath the orb. Li Yan opened her eyes wide, filled with surprise. That's Lan Fam! Li Hao looked at him, filled with anxiety. He's just walking into his own death like that. It's not necessary, it really isn't necessary. He has no ties to our Li family. Triu Kui looked at him with a sneer. Useless brat, it's futile. You're going to die with them anyway. Lan Fam's gaze was ice cold as he looked at him. This kind of trick, I remember Master once taught me. Just by standing there calmly, he summoned a massive sword. He picked up the sword and held it level with his face. Lan Fam then decisively slashed toward the orb. A huge explosion erupted in the air, and even the ground was sliced in two. Li Hao stared, stunned, looking toward him. That kid! He broke it! The Li family members were just as shocked. He broke the Shantian ability technique. How is this possible? After breaking Triu Kui's technique, Lan Fam stood face to face with him and asked, Are you the ancestor of the Triu family? He admitted, I am Triu Kui, the ancestor of the Triu family. Young man, are you trying to stop me from dealing with the Li family? Lan Fam looked at him with a stern gaze. That's right. I can't just stand by and watch the Li family be wiped out. After receiving his answer, he let out a mocking laugh. Trying to help the Li family in front of this ancestor? You're just a mantis trying to stop a chariot, he muttered to himself. I can't sense the level of this kid's ability at all. I'm afraid it's just some special ability. Triu Kui summoned a bone monster. Since you're so stubborn about opposing this ancestor, then go die. He commanded, Triu family descendants, attack the Li family ancestral hall. The crowd rushed forward immediately, not forgetting to shout, Charge! Kill the men and capture the women! Another person chimed in, The big star, Li Yan, is mine. Don't you dare try to snatch her. Another added, I've had my eye on that pretty little thing for a long time, too. Don't you think about hogging her? Triu Kui's face twisted with malice. Die! It's a pity to waste your powerful cultivation. Li Yan, tears welling in her eyes, suggested, Father, even if I die, I don't want to be humiliated. Please use your palm to kill me. Thandong burst into tears. Li Hao turned back with a sorrowful look, but agreed, All right. Then he looked at Lan Fam with a hint of regret. It's just a pity for that boy. He has to die along with our entire Li family. Even if he could stop the Shantian ability, how could he possibly withstand the full power of a Shantian master? The skull opened its mouth wide and lunged toward Lan Fam. The skull's body completely covered Triu Kui. He laughed triumphantly. It's useless. This is my fatal blow. No one can block this. Triu Kui hadn't finished his sentence before his face changed color. What? Lan Fam had neutralized his technique with a single move. He looked at Triu Kui coldly. Is this really the strongest fatal move a Shantian has? No way. Triu Kui seemed unable to accept this. How is this possible? This technique absolutely cannot be broken from the inside. Even if you are a Shantian, you... He immediately unleashed a move, a green vine wrapping around him. I'm tired of listening to you talk. Lan Fam used his strength to throw him hard to the ground. The Triu family members couldn't help but be stunned. What just happened? Why did it explode over there? Another person shouted loudly. Could it be that the kid was taken down by the ancestor? One of them confirmed. That's right, it must be. That's definitely him. That little punk is right up ahead. Someone else looks at him with excitement. Kill him and you'll be a hero. Li Yan is shocked, mouth agape. Father? Lan Fam? Li Hao? She looks around, her gaze stern. Is there anyone left from the Li family who can stand? Let's all charge in and help that boy. She steps forward to lead the charge. I'm going too. The others heard this, and filled with fighting spirit, stood up one by one. They looked at the ruins before them, unable to hide their gratitude, thinking, they risked their lives to protect us. That's why we must show our appreciation. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the rubble. It was Zhao Kui. They couldn't help but be shocked. That's a human, someone immediately shouted. It's the ancestor. What on earth is going on? A man pointed toward Leng Fan. That brat! He's completely unscathed. No way! Another person was stunned. The ancestor never loses. Leng Fan looked at Zhao Kui's group, his gaze as cold as ice. But your ancestor has truly been defeated. Leng Fan grabbed him by the throat with one hand and threatened, if anyone else from the Zhao family dares to take another step, He forcefully slammed Zhao Kui onto the ground. "This will be your fate." The crowd panicked, witnessing the scene before them. The ancestor was actually beaten by this kid. "If he really attacks, we're all dead. He's at the Xiantian realm." One of them broke into a cold sweat, thinking furiously, "Is the Zhao family about to be destroyed here? Damn it, how could the Li family invite someone like this?" Lang Fan tightened his grip on Zhao Kui's neck, his eyes icy, and immediately demanded, "Are all the gifted warriors of the Zhao family here?" The man was bleeding profusely, his voice trembling. "You can kill me, but please, spare my descendants. I swear from this day on, they will never step foot out of the Zhao residence. Not even half a step." Lang Fan remained cold and emotionless. Zhao Kui, choking, asked, "Do you have any other demands?" Lang Fan threw him far away, his body crashing heavily onto the ground. Lang Fan's voice was frigid. "I am not like you." The subordinates rushed over in a panic. "Ancestor, are you all right?" Lang Fan threatened them, each word like a blade cutting through the air. "From now on, if any member of the Zhao family dares to set foot in the Li residence, even by a single step, I will annihilate your entire clan. If you don't believe me, just try it." They were all stunned by his overwhelming aura. What in the world is this? A killing intent I've never seen before. Even the ancestor could never emit such terrifying killing intent. Seeing Zhao Kui regain consciousness, their voices mixed with panic and fear. Despite the pain, he struggled to stand up, trembling. Zhao Kui knelt down immediately. He thought to himself, if I don't show my stance clearly right now, the entire Zhao clan might truly be wiped out. If that happens, I, Zhao Kui, will be the eternal sinner of the entire clan. He bowed his head to the ground before Lang Fan. "The entire Zhao clan obeys!" Everyone was shocked and amazed. The ancestor, for the sake of protecting us. Just like Zhao Kui, the subordinates knelt down one by one, their foreheads touching the ground. A thunderous, unified shout echoed, "The Zhao clan obeys!" Watching everything that had transpired, Li Yan whispered softly, "It seems there was no need for us to step in and help after all." Inside the main hall of the Lai family, a voice rose. "The Lai clan will forever hold the debt of gratitude for the life-saving grace of young Master Lang Fan in our hearts." Li Daodong leaned on his cane and knelt down firmly. "Whatever request you have, Lang Fan, the Lai clan will do our best to fulfill it." Lang Fan didn't care and turned to walk away. "I don't need anything," he thought dismissively. "I don't like anyone kneeling before me, especially not those I consider family." The old man tried to persuade him. "Young Master Lang Fan, are you really leaving after only a few days?" Hearing these words, Lang Fan stopped in his tracks. "I can stay a few more days, but I want to stay at Mr. Li Hao's house." Li Daodong was delighted. "That is simple enough. Young Master Lang Fan, you can stay wherever you like." Someone immediately rushed to the door. "I will go and prepare the room right now." Before long, he was given an extremely luxurious room. Lang Fan sat on the bed, stunned. "I didn't expect it to be this extravagant in the end. Actually, I would have been fine just sleeping on that small bed from before." Suddenly, Li Yan appeared at the door, tapping softly a few times. "May I come in?" She shyly approached and sat next to Lang Fan, thinking to herself, "Why am I so useless?" She didn't even dare to look him in the eye. He turned to her, his voice calm. "Is something the matter?" Because she was so embarrassed, Li Yan's voice trembled, unable to finish a complete sentence. Lang Fan listened intently, wondering to himself, what are they saying? She hesitated. "They said that you helped us fight off the Zhao family before, because you like me, is that true?" Lang Fan pondered for a moment before slowly speaking, "Yes and no." Li Yan looked up at him, a bit confused. "What does that mean?" Fan leaned back on the bed. He replied calmly, "I like you, but I also like Uncle Li Hao and Aunt Yuan Qingtong. It's because of all of you that I stepped in." Li Yan's expression changed, feeling lonely. "It's because I thought too much." "Is it just because my parents invited him over for dinner?" "I knew it. He wouldn't have that kind of feeling for me. Even though I like him, it's not the romantic kind of love. It's more like a familiar, comfortable feeling. Like meeting my younger brother again." She curled up in a corner of the bed, reminding herself, "I'm not going crazy, am I? My younger brother has long since left this world." Lang Fan tilted his head slightly to look at her. "Do you want to sleep here?" Li Yan scoffed. "You're dreaming. I just find it quite comfortable here and wanted to sit for a while. A little teasing is fine, I suppose. But if you start snoring loudly while you're asleep, I'll toss you right out." That sentence made her explode, her face flushing red with rage. "You're the one who snores!" Then, remembering something, Li Yan asked quietly, "One more thing, my father asked me to check on something with you." Lan Fam didn't waste words, replying with a single syllable. Seeing her lean back, he calmly asked what was on her mind. "If you really could have wiped out the entire Zhao clan, why didn't you do it?" He raised an eyebrow. A thought flickered through his mind. Sure enough, people are all the same. Lan Fam sat up, resting his hands on his knees, his voice calm but sharp. "First off, wiping out a clan incurs negative karma. I'm not certain I could survive the heavenly tribulation that comes with it. Second, if I wiped out the Zhao clan, what would make the Li clan any different? Destroy them today, and another Wang clan will just pop up tomorrow. Is that how it's going to be? Just endless destruction?" She agreed, sighing. "I suppose you're right. If you aren't strong enough yourself, you'll eventually end up as just another small fish caught in the cycle of the strong preying on the weak. Besides, there are countless innocent people in the Zhao clan who don't deserve to die." Before Li Yan could finish, Lan Fam's patience ran out. He started ushering her away. "If your questions have been answered, can you leave now? Because I really truly despise loud snorers." With that, he slammed the door shut. Li Yan stood there, wanting to cry. "I really don't snore." Vian Thandung, having heard the commotion from inside their room, whispered to her husband, "I told you so. It's hard for Yen Er and that boy to be a match. My instincts are always spot on." Li Hao's expression darkened for a moment. "If it wasn't for this clan head's orders, I wouldn't have put our daughter in such an awkward position. The threat from the Zhao clan was only temporarily quelled. It could resurface at any moment." A while later, Li Yan appeared before her parents and stated seriously, "Lan Fam said something just now. Even if we destroy the Zhao clan now, sooner or later a Wang clan or a Zhang clan will appear. If our Li clan isn't strong enough, relying on anyone else is useless." Her father listened intently, not saying a word. Li Hao sat in silence for a long time, a hint of self-reproach in his eyes. "He's right. I've lived more than half a lifetime, yet I'm not as wise as these two kids." Vian Thandung looked dead serious. She leaned in and placed a hand on his shoulder. "That's the logic, yes, but breaking through to the pre-heaven stage is incredibly difficult. For now, it's better to do everything we can to pull Lan Fam to our side. At the very least, the Li clan would have a life of peace and stability." At the same time, at the base of the Li clan's mountain, a long line of cars had gathered. There was a buzz of whispers. "The Li clan invited a pre-heaven super expert for reinforcements this time. I heard that guy is only 20 years old. If he joins our conglomerate, we might be days away from ruling the whole world. I'll wait right here. I have to wait until he comes out." Early the next morning, Li Yan woke up, stretched, and let out a long yawn, but she didn't forget to call out, "Lan Fam, get up! Let's go grab some breakfast." Looking toward his room, she was slightly surprised. The door wasn't locked, but when she pushed it open, the room was completely empty. Not a trace of Lan Fam. Meanwhile, elsewhere, in the waiting hall before boarding at Jinling Airport, the atmosphere seemed quite quiet. Lan Fam sat alone in a row of seats, thinking to himself, "I didn't expect so many people to be waiting for me when I left the Li clan. That's really troublesome." He sighed, thinking of the headache that just occurred, and wondered why he had suddenly become so famous. Suddenly, Chen Xing sat down next to him, looking incredibly flamboyant. "Where did this kid come from?" Then she turned to him and gave a confident wink. "Hey, little guy, how's my makeup today?" He replied indifferently. "It's passable, I guess. But why did you put on so much red lipstick?" Hearing this, Chen Xing frowned, clearly displeased. But this kid had successfully caught her attention. Afterward, she took off her glasses, using her beauty to reel him in. "Do you know who I am?" Lan Fam leaned back slightly and said calmly, "A fortune teller? My master said only fortune tellers wear dark glasses." Chen Xing was shaking with anger, but she forced herself to hold back. "Stay calm, Chen Xing. Stay calm. This person is special, so his personality is obviously unlike anyone else's. For the bigger picture, you must endure." She did a complete turnaround, forcing a friendly smile. "You sure know how to joke." Suddenly, a pot-bellied man replied to Chen Xing, "Beauty, are you talking to me?" She kicked him immediately and quickly walked away. "Where did that kid run off to?" "On the plane, in business class. He had already settled into his seat, thinking to himself that the girl was really strange. Suddenly, a flight attendant approached him, smiling warmly. "You are Mr. Lan Pham, correct? Our airline has offered you a complimentary upgrade to first class. Please follow me." Lan Pham repeated in confusion. "Complimentary? Moving to first class?" He froze when he saw Chen Xing. "What a coincidence, we meet again." Lan Pham didn't hesitate for a second, turning away. "I'm still used to sitting in business class." The timid flight attendant quickly intervened. "Mr. Lan, please stop. If you don't, my monthly salary will be gone." Chen Xing, meanwhile, kept her bright, arrogant expression. She revealed, "Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm the CEO of this airline. My name is Chen Xing. All the staff on this plane work for me." Lan Pham remained calm, pointed at the flight attendant, and made a demand. "Give her a raise." She didn't hesitate to humble herself, just because she wanted to finish the job you gave her. Chen Xing blinked and agreed, even adding, "No problem at all, Mr. Lan, for the next few hours. Please take good care of me." However, he bluntly questioned her. "What is your goal? Do you want me to join your company too?" "Don't bother, it's useless." Suddenly, Lan Pham's gaze flickered down to her well-endowed figure. Chen Xing said in a sweet voice, "I'm being sincere. I don't want you to join the company, silly." At that point, he immediately shot Chen Xing a piercing, cold look. "Then what is your objective?" She leaned over, intending to reach out and stroke Lan Pham's hair. "I want you to be my husband." Chen Xing put on a bewitching, dainty act. He immediately swatted her hand away. "Sorry, but no." Right after that, Lan Pham gave a brief explanation. "I am actually a monk." Tran Tin stubbornly gripped Lan Pham's shirt, denying it. "You're lying to me. You clearly still have hair." "How can a monk have hair?" "Don't give me that monk excuse." She kept on bothering him, so he calmly added, "I'm not a Buddhist monk. I'm a Taoist." Hearing this, Tran Tin became even more agitated, saying, "I don't care. How could someone like you be a Taoist? You must marry me." His eyes suddenly drifted away, and he slowly revealed, "I am not an ordinary Taoist. I am actually a cultivator, devoted to the Tao. What I seek is ascension. By then, you would only be left to live out your life in widowhood. Because the celestial realm is a world completely different from this one." No matter how long-winded he was, her brain was just full of question marks. "Wait, what are you talking about? This guy is just talking nonsense to get out of dating me." Tran Tin gritted her teeth, feeling cornered, and secretly devised a plan. "Looks like I have no choice but to use my ultimate move." Immediately, she pressed herself against Lan Pham and forcefully kissed him. Just then, the captain of the Taiwan airline passed by, froze in his tracks, and called out, "CEO Tran?" His pupils dilated in shock. This guy was burning with jealousy. He had been pursuing Tran Tin for nearly 3 years, and she hadn't even given him a glance. Yet now, right here on his flight, she was kissing another man. A few minutes later, Tran Tin pulled away and shyly justified herself. "Now you at least have some feelings for me, right?" "Being chosen by a woman like me is your good fortune," Lan Pham retorted with a sharp comment that made her furious. "Is your lipstick stuck on my mouth now?" Tai Quan approached with a dark expression and interrupted, "You two are having a great time, aren't you?" Tran Tin was immediately annoyed and snapped at him. "Who gave you permission to come in here? Get back to the cockpit right now. If you show your face here again, I'm cutting your year-end bonus." Tai Quan argued back. CEO Tran, I've been pursuing you for 3 years. You wouldn't even look at me, and now you're cuddling and kissing this pathetic little brat? What do I lack compared to him? He's even too lazy to get a proper haircut. I'm clearly 100 times more handsome than him." Suddenly, she slapped him across the face. She then coldly declared, "You are inferior to him in every way. Get out of my sight. Your year-end bonus is cut." Lan Pham watched this chaotic scene and pondered, "This girl seems a bit different from the others." Tai Quan aggressively prepared to confront Tran Tin. "I'm done! You nasty woman, I'm going to kill you!" In a flash, Lan Pham easily restrained him. "That's enough. You reaped what you sowed. The slap was just the result you deserve." Though a bit startled, Tran Tin's heart was already blooming. Lan Pham was defending her. Tai Quan, despite the pain, still arrogantly ordered, "Don't you dare touch me! Let go of me!" As he struggled, Lan Pham calmly negotiated, "Tai Quan, either you accept the consequences. Otherwise, I won't let go easily. Apologize to her." Tran Tin pretended to be terrified from behind, which infuriated Tai Quan. His look earlier was so fierce. "Lan Pham, You must help me. Just then, he pulled out a gun. He threatened Lan Fam. Are you going to let go or not? I'm counting to 3. She was extremely shocked and tried to stop him. Taekwon, don't do anything stupid. Where did you get that gun? Taekwon was emboldened. Scared now, aren't you? After I deal with him, I'll settle the score with you. I knew you would be on this flight, so I prepared everything in advance. Trantin continued to plead. Taekwon, don't do anything rash. Fam, everything can be discussed. As she spoke, she watched Lan Fam's unusual expression. Even the strongest human cannot fight against bullets. Why does he not look scared at all? Taekwon lost patience and pulled the trigger. No more negotiating. Surprisingly, Lan Fam caught the bullet in his palm. His body radiated a cold aura. This thing is far from enough to kill me. Taekwon couldn't believe his eyes and screamed in agitation. How is this possible? I don't believe in ghosts and spirits. Lan Fam bent the gun barrel to prove it. You better believe it. At this moment, the captain's pupils were wide open. Then Lan Fam kicked Taekwon, causing severe injury and sent him flying away. Tranting approached and bluntly declared, making him bury his face and cry, Taekwon, you are fired. The role of captain for this flight will be temporarily taken over by the co-pilot. Taekwon gritted his teeth. Fine, if you're going to be this heartless to me, then we'll all die together. Seeing him rush toward the cockpit, she shouted in panic, Oh no, stop him! Taekwon stood behind the door with a twisted smile. It's too late. Die with me. The flight attendant turned pale, stuttering as she announced, He locked the door from the inside. Everyone on this flight is going to die, Trantin angrily ordered. Go distribute parachutes to all passengers immediately and have them put on oxygen masks. The attendant complied. Then she turned to ask Lan Fam, There are parachutes and oxygen masks at your seat. Which one do you want? Suddenly, the floor shook, causing Trantin to fall toward Lan Fam. Their lips were quite close. She thought, good chance. However, he quickly blocked Tin's mouth and changed the subject. If something happens to the plane, considering all factors, what is the survival rate? She answered seriously. At best, the fatality rate is 90%. In the cockpit, Taekwon was still wreaking havoc. Everyone die, just die! This caused everything, including Trantin, to lose balance in midair. Lan Fam reached out to hold her. I will transfer 1/10 of my energy to you. Go to the economy class immediately and help those who need it. Trantin looked excitedly at the energy surrounding her. How magical! What is this? He helplessly reminded her. No time to explain. Get going! Seeing him standing in front of the door, she assumed there was no way he could open it. Once locked, even standard firearms couldn't blast it open. Yet Lan Fam effortlessly shattered the door, leaving Trantin stunned. What the? He turned back coldly, tossing out a few more words. Still here? Move it! I said I've got things handled here. If they die, can you even shoulder the responsibility? She promised with a firm voice, I'm going now. In the passenger cabin, everyone was in a panic. Are we going to die here? We shouldn't have flown with this trash airline. The media called it the best in the world. What a bunch of scammers. Go to hell. Tranting stepped out to face the chaotic scene. She steeled herself, her voice ringing out with conviction. Everyone, please calm down. We absolutely will not die. No one is going to die. I, Tranting, swear it on my life. A woman lunged at her, venting her rage with a long tirade. Who do you think you are? What's the point of saying things like that? Old lady, if something happens, the insurance company owes me 10 million. What's your life worth? A male flight attendant shouted, Report! This is our chief purser. She's worth billions. Seizing the moment, she stepped forward to explain patiently, I am responsible for ensuring everyone's safety. If anything happens to any of us, I will forfeit all my assets to compensate you. Suddenly, an image of Lan Fam flashed in Tranting's mind. I believe in him. He can definitely save us. Inside the cockpit, Taekwon didn't know who had put a hand on his shoulder and barked, Get off me! He was startled and terrified as he put the pieces together. That's not right. The co-pilot is dead, and the cockpit door was locked. No one should have been able to get in here. How could... Taekwon glanced back, his expression contorting with fear. Tears welled up in his eyes, his face drained of color as he stammered, How did you open this door? Lan Fam gripped Taekwon's throat and lifted him high. I'll give you one chance. Fly the plane properly. Even while struggling to breathe, he let out a crazed laugh. You want me to? Only if you kneel and kowtow to me 10 times. The co-pilot is dead. I'm the only one on this entire plane who knows how to fly it. He threw Taekwon back and ordered, "Fly it." He stubbornly resisted. Even if the Jade Emperor himself came down today, I wouldn't fly it. Then Lanfam reached out and grabbed a white rope. Then go ahead and wait for your karmic retribution. Immediately, the rope bound Taekwon and the co-pilot tightly, leaving him pale with terror. You think a commoner like you knows how to fly a plane? To fly a plane, you need at least several years of training and study. Lanfam stepped closer, observing the control panel covered in buttons. Doesn't look that complicated, does it? Taekwon couldn't keep his mouth shut, rambling incessantly. Just wait to die! You're going to watch everyone on this flight die, and there won't be a damn thing you can do about it. Lanfam used the rope to gag him, even noisier than a bunch of mountain monkeys. He stared at the controls, guessing their functions. Seems a bit complex. Outside, the plane was getting closer to the high-rise buildings. It's all over. We're going to crash into the city. Countless cries of despair filled the air. Tran could only remain silent. Lanfam, are you not done yet? The people on the ground saw the plane looming overhead. Why did a plane suddenly appear here? If it keeps going like this, the whole city will be destroyed. What on earth is going on? In the cockpit, he slowly placed his hands on the control stick. I think I saw that guy using this to steer earlier. As he focused, trying to think, Lanfam accidentally snapped the stick off due to his overwhelming strength. He sighed, looked at the broken piece, and criticized, "The quality of this airline's equipment is really pathetic. What to do? Seems like I'll have to use that technique my master never taught me." Suddenly, a giant figure appeared. Everyone was stunned. What kind of cloud is that? No way. How can a cloud have a shape like that? He poured his energy into practicing the spell, his eyes widening with determination. Instantly, the Vajra warrior easily lifted the plane, a divine manifestation. Then, the giant calmly moved through the city with the plane in hand. Each step of the Vajra overshadowed the streets. The people below were terrified. "Oh my God, that's a deity!" Suddenly, the Vajra warrior stopped. The passengers scrambled to assess the situation. "The plane stopped! Looks like the engines cut out too. We're just hovering in midair." Trantin saw this and was overjoyed, forcing a relieved smile. Lanfam did it. But why do I feel like something is off? A message arrived. He read it and relayed the instruction to the Vajra warrior. The destination for this flight is Rongcheng Airport. Master said if you're going to send Buddha to the west, you can't just leave him halfway. Let's go. Rongcheng is only another 1,000+ kilometers away. Suddenly, his expression grew fiercer. The Vajra warrior then used his strength to leap high into the air, making everyone look up. That thing is carrying the plane and running. Oh, heavens! The master said if you're going to send Buddha to the west, you got to see him all the way there. You can't just quit halfway. Let's go. Rongcheng is only a little over 1,000 kilometers away. Suddenly, his expression turns fierce. The Vajra warrior leaps high into the air, causing everyone to look back. That guy is carrying the plane away. Oh my God! Inside the plane, Tran is still listening to complaints, cold sweat pouring down her face. She speculates, could it be that Lanfam is flying the plane? He runs out of momentum and plunges toward the ground. Screams ring out. He's nosediving. Right then, in the Rongcheng Airport lounge, things are still quiet until the figure of the Vajra warrior suddenly streaks past the glass. Two young men are so stunned they start swearing at the sight. Has God arrived? Is someone hacking reality? He stops and slowly sets the plane down. Then the Vajra warrior vanishes into thin air. All done. Lanfam breathes a sigh of relief. Looks like flying a plane isn't that hard. Meanwhile, Taekwon is terrified, shrieking and calling him a monster. He calmly announces to everyone, "We've arrived in Rongcheng. You can deplane now." Every passenger is completely exhausted, and there are many comments. This is the most intense flight I've ever been on. Flying in this thing makes me more carsick than an actual car. This isn't a plane. It's a carnival thrill ride. At this moment, Tran approaches cautiously. Are you all right? Lanfam replies calmly, I'm fine, but I have to go now. That guy Taekwon, I tied him up in the cockpit for you. While I'm at it, I wanted to ask, how do you plan to punish him? Hearing his name, she sighs wearily, concluding, he'll probably get life in prison. He puts on a look of total innocence. Life in prison? That's too merciful. I suggest we just execute him on the spot. Tran-Ting doesn't brush it off. Well, we'll have to see what the court decides. Suddenly, she lowers her voice to ask for a favor. Oh, right. Could you come over here and help me for a second? Lan Fam asks worriedly. What's wrong? Then Tran-Tin stumbles forward. My legs. I can't stand. A few seconds later, she loses her balance and faints. He catches her in his arms, gently touching her forehead. Just dizziness from all the stress and fear, leading to a blackout. She should be fine once she gets some oxygen. Ultimately, Lan Fam decides to carry her to the hospital first. Standing at the plane door, he's dizzy from the height. Whoa, this plane is so high. Can normal people really get down from here? Why do rich people like spending money just to suffer? Lan Fam jumps down right in front of the airport staff and runs off in a flash, leaving the other guy stunned and confused. So there were stairs the whole time? Run fast! If I'm not embarrassed, then others are the embarrassed ones. After walking a long way into the airport, Lan Fam hears a group whispering about him and Tran-Tin. He stands there calmly, expressionless. Are these people waiting for friends? I don't think I have any friends either. The Lai family's karma hasn't even been settled yet. Suddenly, Chow Jai-Ki appears with a sign. Look at this, Lan Fam. It takes him by surprise. Stammering, Chow Jai-Ki's eyes land on Tran-Tin, who is nestled in his arms. She immediately drops the sign and turns to leave. Lan Fam asks naively, Huh? Didn't you come to pick me up? She glares at him with murderous intent. The Lan Fam I wanted to pick up is already dead. Now there's only this womanizing Lan Fam left, but unfortunately he's not dead yet. Lan Fam nimbly pushes Tran-Tin toward Chow Jai-Ki. If that's the case, you take her. She's unconscious. You take her to the hospital. I'm heading out. Tran-Tin wearily opens her eyes and glances behind his back. Wait. Chow Jai-Ki glares at Tran-Tin. So you were faking it. Tran-Tin ignores her, walking straight to Lan Fam and grabbing his arm. Wait, to thank you for helping our airline this time. I want to treat you to dinner. Hearing this, Lan Fam thinks of fried fish and French fries. Dinner? But Chow Jai-Ki refuses to lose, grabbing his other arm. I came here specifically to pick you up. I've already prepared food at home. Come with me. Trapped in the middle, Lan Fam asks awkwardly, Can I eat at both houses? But Chow Jai-Ki's answer is clear. No way. You're dreaming. You have to pick one of us right now. Tran-Tin ignores Chow Jai-Ki and turns to wink at him. Of course you can. As long as I get to eat with you, I'm happy anytime. Furious, Chow Jai-Ki pulls Lan Fam away. Follow me now. Tran-Tin calls after them. Lan Fam, hey, be careful. Don't let her looks fool you. She threatens Lan Fam darkly. If you dare look back at her, you're dead. I'm cutting all ties with you right now. Unexpectedly, he asked Chow Jai-Ki back, leaving her speechless. Ties? What kind of ties are you even talking about? Chow Jai-Ki felt awkward. She shouted, Just shut your mouth, while whispering to herself, How could I have said something like that? I must have such a dirty mind. Tran-Tin was still behind them, arms crossed, sizing up Chow Jai-Ki. She really thinks she can compete with me for a man? She thought to herself before quickly making a decision. I accept your challenge. A man like Lan Fam can only belong to me. Time passed, and a white car was parked on the side of the road. A conversation could be heard coming from inside. So, we're heading to your place for dinner now? Is eating the only thing on your mind? Grandpa's calling to rush us. I bet the roasted lamb is already done. She accepted the call, and Grandpa immediately beamed, saying, Hello, my dear granddaughter. I heard you were at the airport fighting over Lin Fam with the CEO of Kim Dung Airlines. Tran-Tin, right? Well done. Now the whole world knows that you and Lin Fam are a couple. Chow Jai-Ki felt steam coming out of her ears, so she hurriedly denied it. Grandpa, what are you talking about? The signal is bad. I'm hanging up. She hung up and glanced at Lin Fam, who was still staring at her. He seemed to have something specific to say, so Chow Jai-Ki finally asked, What is it? What do you want to talk to me about? He tilted his head, looking puzzled, and asked, Do you want to marry me? This line from Lin Fam made Chow Jai-Ki lose her grip on the steering wheel, causing the car to swerve all over the road. Who said I wanted to marry you? And I wouldn't dream of having your kids either. Keep dreaming, he calmly retorted. I never said anything about having kids. She was already fuming and quickly cut him off. Shut your mouth! She shifted the conversation elsewhere as the sky remained a bright, clear blue. Grandpa looked at the lamb, still sizzling on the spit, and muttered, The lamb is done. That brat Lin Pham said he couldn't live without my granddaughter from here on out. With the Chow family, I finally have a solid mountain to lean on. I can finally retire in peace. Du Lam was also there and asked her father, "Is Giai Kai bringing Lin Pham to our house?" He answered while artfully sprinkling salt. "That's right. I reckon they'll be here in a few minutes." Hearing that, Du Lam turned and called out to someone. "Come on out, you two." Tudo Fa Yen immediately stepped forward to greet him. "Elder of the Chow family, greetings." He couldn't help but be surprised by her sudden appearance. Du Lam introduced her. "She's my niece from my mother's side, my cousin's daughter. She's here because of Lin Pham." Fa Yen closed her eyes and added, "My grandfather's order is for me to marry Lin Pham. If that's not possible, then I'll become his lover. I hope the elders of the Chow family will show some grace and not make things difficult for me." Grandpa Chow scoffed confidently. "Not at all. My granddaughter is quite charming herself. I don't think she'll lose to you." Back in Lin Pham's car, he was getting his cheeks pinched by Chow Jai Kai and tried to speak. I want to get out now."